everybody, and welcome to another Sunday Funday here on the Dot Lot. We are getting a little bit of a late start because this dot was hostess dot yesterday, so I needed a little bit of a late morning, but don't fret, it just means our Sunday Funday is gonna rush into the evening. So thank you for all coming by and being here for what is gonna be Kids on Bikes one shot. This is the first time I've actually run Kids on Bikes here on the Dot Lot, so I'm very, very excited. And then following that, we'll have our regular every other Sunday Owl of Lycia that's going to follow right after this. So you'll have a full, 6 hours of gaming here on the Dot Lot before it's over with? So,
that's a lot of content.
That's a lot of content. Content for you and content for you. I also want to say we have a couple fun new things here for both our subscribers. It is the holidays, and regardless of how you tend to spend them, I wanted to make sure that all of you had a little bit of holiday dot love to spread around Twitch and Discord. So we have brand new emotes for the holiday season. So you can get your hands on those by subscribing to the channel if you don't already. If you are a subscriber, guess what? They're already at your disposal. So go show those cute little things up and around the interwebs. We also have all kinds of new things like subscriber badges and a bunch of things that I have updated over the last few weeks in my downtime. So, we'll be kicking off 2020 with a bang. And speaking of 2020, the full announcement will come out next week, but because you're here live, I'll let you know that we will be kicking off the new year with Teens in Space, followed by North Sea Epilogues, which will be an all-females biking game, which should be pretty fun, and the cast list will be coming out as soon as I can finish getting them nailed down. So thank you. I was trying to think if there's anything else. Those are all the big kind of announcements I think in my head. Oh, and of course, don't forget, next week I'm going to be in the UK. So if you're hanging out across the pond, come on over for Roll For It Con. You can go check out Roll For It's Patreon, where the information is completely free to find out about where the meetup's going to be happening, and we're going to be having 2 large live gaming events, so that's also pretty sweet and very exciting.
And I'm going to be there too.
PH is going to be there. There are so many of you that are coming out. I'm just floored and honored, and I'm terribly nervous. This is my first trip overseas. I begged Bub to take the same plane with me so I wouldn't be by myself.
That's just a good idea.
Yeah, Bub and I are traveling together, so I'm over the moon. I cannot wait. I even ordered a new jacket. I treated myself to a new jacket for the UK. And this new set of gloves because my favorite gloves unraveled in my hands the other day, which somehow is like a metaphor for my life right now. Awesome. So let's pop right in. If you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. Sunday Fundays are our community game, and today we're playing Kids on Bikes, which is created and made by Renegade Games. And it is just what it sounds like. We'll be playing kids on potentially bikes, maybe other wheeled vehicles, but we'll see how that turns out. And it could be skates, it could be a skateboard, whatever and however your kids travel about. But before we actually do that, let's meet our kids for the day. Look at all these kidly faces. Craig. Let's go around. Let's meet our players for today. And why don't you simply tell us who your character is, because we're going to do a proper 80s montage to learn all about what your character looks like and what kind of bike they ride. And let's actually start with somebody that's not necessarily new to the channel, but's not been around in a while. Hey, Craig.
Muting, figuring out how to unmute.
Oh, there you go.
I normally GM, and so I never mute.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Craig, and I'm playing Ricky, who is a loner weirdo. Is that all you need, or do you need more right now?
If you feel like there's something else you'd like to tell us about that's important about Ricky, you're welcome to let us know, but you'll have a chance to tell us what he looks like. How about that?
Okay. He's sporting a 2-tone fake velour shirt, short sleeves, with brown toughskins that his mom bought at Sears.
Proper.
That is an actual outfit that I wore. I have pictures.
So you're playing yourself, all right.
I am a child of the 80s.
Oh,
yes.
Man, we spent all day yesterday watching 80s, throwback 80s movies. That was like what we did for my partner's birthday. So I'm feeling the like 80s vibe. We like worked our way from the 80s into like the 90s and then got into my childhood. So very cool. And we'll go straight down. Theater nerd, welcome back.
Hi. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited that my hair has cooperated and still, after like a half an hour. No, longer than that. An hour and a half is still sticking straight up. This is only the power of children's school glue can have my hair defy gravity this way. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm happy to be back. I'm playing X. They are the laid-back slacker who you would hate to work with because they arrive 5 minutes late every single shift.
Yep.
And does the bare minimum of their job in order to keep it. Probably tries to also leave 5 minutes early.
And you work where?
At Skateland, the roller rink.
That's right, the local roller rink, which I'm sure we're going to learn a lot more about. Hey, PH.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm really good, because I'm here.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So before I get into my character, I request that the upcoming Teens in Space show starts with Teens in Space!
I second this request.
I think I'm just going to have PH record that. And then we'll just use PH's voice over top of it as it intros in.
Sorry, that's just something I had to throw out there.
Teens in Space. I love it.
Space,
That'll be very much the vibe. It's somewhere between like that and Xenon Girl of the 21st Century, I feel like.
Yes.
Perfect. Anyway, today I am playing a teen on a bike, and it's not a bike, it's a tricycle. And, you know, his name is Eugene, and I got like a store on the front of my bike, which is a tricycle, because it's got like this huge like box on the front, which I used to ride around in when I was like a wee little kid. And my mom would take me shopping and like load all the groceries on top of my head. And, you know, good times.
Good.
So I'm not like a social kind of guy, because everybody like sort of blames me for all the disappearances that go on around town, even though that's totally not my fault, because like one of the kids that disappeared actually just died because he did a flip on like his bicycle. Don't do flips. And so I tend to stay to the background a lot, you know, stay with my bike, run the store, rent out toys, refreshments, and that's me.
All right, then. Interesting, interesting. And down the page, Steph.
Hello, hello.
Hello, how are you this morning? Afternoon. It's not morning.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah,
screwed.
afternoon. Good, you know, I'm happy to be back on the dot lot and playing a game I've never played before. I am going to be playing Tony Savage, who is kind of a music nerd. She learned to play piano from one of her moms, who is a piano teacher and also helps teach little kids.
Oh.
But most people are a little put off by her because her other mom is the local mortician. And Tony has played for a few wakes, so she's kind of got this reputation as the local weirdo, which suits her just fine. It gives her more time to look into those, you know, disappearances and come up with her own theories as to, you know, why statistically we have so many teenagers disappearing, and hoping that she's not next.
Isn't that the truth? And we're going to learn a little bit more about those disappearing teens. And somebody that, I'm so glad you're back, JB. At least I didn't scare you off after the end of the Purloin Code. Welcome back.
Hi, I'm Drop the Die, and today I'm 8. I'm the youngest member of our motley crew, and I will be playing Alex. You will notice on the stream that I do not have any pronouns for Alex, because they choose mainly just to go by Alex, but whatever people refer to them as is fine. Alex is a short, willowy, like rail-thin little dweeb who's wearing a jacket, some army jacket with patches all over it. They found on a park bench, and they're always pulling weird things out of the pockets. Has a big backpack on, and is often walking around with a Rubik's Cube, hastily sputtering out inane trivia whenever they're nervous. Did you know that most submarines were actually human-powered in the early days of submarine technology?
Andy's ex's brother or sibling.
That's right. You guys are siblings.
Alex and X are together, but it's nice and boop boop. Alex, X, yes, siblings.
Siblings. All right. Well, this motley crew all come from the same town, Southridge, California. Now, Southridge is a suburban town on the outskirts of a much larger city. In this town, jobs are sparse, so during the day, everybody's parents, unless they really work at the local grocer or a small town business, find their way into the city. So more often than not, you have not only your school hours, but a few hours after school where you get to spend on your own before parents manage their commute all the way back. This provides time for friendships, shenanigans, and of course hanging out at the most popular place, and really the only true hangout place in town, Skateland, which is what you can imagine a skate rink. As the 80s have passed and are coming into their own, skateboarding has also become a bit of a fad. So out back, they have also built a few makeshift ramps, though not covered under the insurance. But the kids haven't really hurt themselves yet. And it is the 80s. Make your own fun, right?
If you fall, you land in the trash, and that's all safe.
It's so totally
soft
safe.
Trash. It's like mostly pizza that no one eats because it's not great.
Rub some dirt in it, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you rub some dirt in it, you'll be fine. Yeah, but this little outskirts suburb is troubled and has been for a while. Mostly quiet, but it has an odd vibe. And not only that, teens and kids seem to go missing more frequently than your average small town, at least at a higher rate. Most recently, it was the head cheerleader that has gone missing. Regardless of your feelings on the head cheerleader, her disappearance has caused a bit of a ruckus. And the local adults, a small team of them, have started a nighttime watch. It's more like a witch hunt. And they question everybody and anything that gets in their way. You probably want to avoid them at all costs, especially if you're out and about at night. And as dusk settles on a Friday evening, each of you have taken to your wheels, whatever those are, and are riding into town to the only spot to hang out, Skateland. Friday nights are where it's most bumping, and where you're going to be able to potentially sell your wares, hawk some things, pop some wheelies, and, if you're lucky, you might even make it to the back alley, which is called Makeout Alley, and get your snog on. So, each of you are riding into town, and as a proper 80s movie, the camera pans in, behind Ricky, full speed ahead, wearing his Kmart, would you say Kmart?
Sears,
your Sears best.
We're not that poor.
We're not a Kmart family. God. You are wearing your Sears best and pedaling as fast as you can into town. A song plays behind you, and I'm going to have you tell us not only what your bike looks like and what you look like pedaling into town, but I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Does your character have any after-school duties or daily obligations?
He has to do his homework right after school because that's what his mom says he has to do. Because it's going to teach him values, as she says. And but he gets doted on quite a bit by her, so he doesn't have chores during the week. So he has stuff he does on during the weekend, but if it's a Friday night, he is chore free.
Chore free on a Friday, and I'm guessing you'll just save
life.
Love and life. You're gonna save that homework for Sunday.
No, he'll do it Saturday.
He'll do it
maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. The question is, do you even do your
He doesn't
homework?
have anything to do.
Yeah.
He does his homework.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he wants to make mom proud.
And what kind of wheels are you coming into town with?
Oh, it's an off brand, with the high handlebars, banana seat. There's streamers coming out of the handlebar grips, and he's got an Ace of Spades playing card close pinned into the back bike frame so that it clicks in the spokes of the bike. So it's about as far. I mean, it was a cool bike 4 years ago,
right?
When he got it, but he's kind of stopped growing, and it's just so grandma's not buying him a new a new bike anytime soon. So.
That's right. So he's just gonna have to live with the one he's got. Yeah. True story. I used my Pokemon cards to do that. That's where they ended up. Okay. So you pedal into town. Ricky, you're gonna pass a few locations before you get there. You'll pass Ridge Hardware, which has a kind of scary upper floor that is said to host KRDJ, The Ridge, the radio station, the local radio station, though nobody's ever seen coming in and out of that. Of course, you pass the coffee stop and shop. Unfortunately, your side of town doesn't bring you past the South 5 truck stop, but you do also lay your eyes on the South Ridge Library, which is, I guess you say off on your left as you hang a hard right, and wheelie into Skateland. Gravel parking lot, of course. And our camera cuts. New song plays as Eugene is pedaling ever towards Skateland for a Friday night adventure. What does Eugene look like, and what's the bike look like? And you're gonna answer, I like this one. Your character has had a strange encounter. What was it in the town?
Ooh. Do I get to name the spooky shit?
Yeah, if you want to name the spoopiness, you're welcome to. You can also, I gave you a possible list of NPCs. You're welcome to say, like, it happened with X, Y, and Z or so-and-so. But yeah, feel free.
Well, first of all, let's get to the question later. When the camera pans into the road and where Eugene's supposed to be riding his bike, I say, hold on, I'm not ready yet. And the camera pans all the way back to his house, and he's still loading his bike full of new toys and
records,
refreshments and special snacks. And, hold on. And then I get on the bicycle, which is like this super ugly, like dark green thing with like light brown seats and handlebars. And like I said, it's a tricycle. It's got two wheels on the front with this huge brown box with full of junk. It's a woman's bicycle because it used to belong to his mom, so there's no bar. And it's got no frills at all. And that's what I'm eventually, slowly, because it's heavy as hell,
right,
towards the skate rink.
And off you pedal as fast as you can. A few kids probably note you headed towards it, and since you sell the goods, you would know that at the skate rink in particular, the food is questionable and limited. It's mostly hot dogs, fries, slushies, popcorn. And the woman who cooks it all is also the cook for the school. She's the lady that runs the cafeteria. And like I said, questionable is the word of choice around the food. So kids love to come get your snacks because they have to go to the opposite end of town to go hit the truck stop, which is also not a very welcoming place for kids. And they would rather buy their candy bars for you.
I got like candy. I got baby carrots for like vegan kids. They exist. They have needs that I can meet, and then they can pay me money. It's all good.
And as you pedal through town, kids are kind of pointing, going, as they too are hopping on their bikes, finding their routes, gathering with their friends. A few people lean up against the kind of sketchy edge of a building, but it seems like a pretty regular night. And with the hype happening, Eugene, you might actually just make a little bit of money.
I do like money.
Yeah.
I came up with what the weird thing that happened to me.
Oh yeah.
So, like, this one time after I went home and I was checking all my stuff, I like to unload the water guns because if you leave the water in there for too long, things get a little smelly. So I dump out this one water gun, right, and it's filled with fucking blood. Like, what the hell?
It's filled.
How weird is that?
Yeah, it's filled with blood. Oh my god, water gun.
I know. I have no idea how it got in there and what kind of wise guy would pull this prank on me. I don't think that's very funny. Like, where did they get all this blood? Did they kill a cat? That's messed up. So I don't know. But that's my weird encounter.
And that is a weird one.
Right?
We'll have to see if you've told anybody about such a weird encounter. But as you recall back to that moment, a flash in your mind as you dump out the bloody water gun, the camera cuts once again, this time following X, our laid-back slacker, into town. X, tell us, what do you look like pedaling yourself or possibly pushing yourself, if you're on something else, into town? Yeah.
They're pretty reckless, so they're gonna try to do some sort of trick off of stairs, maybe grind on the handrails because they don't have the annoying that you see a lot of times where they like try to break it up so you can't skateboard on it that you see nowadays. And they probably also eat concrete for it.
Couple
and then
times.
They do that, like, yeah, they do that awkward, like, look around, like, I swear to God, if anyone saw this, I'm going to cease to exist.
There were a couple younger kids that kind of saw you. They kind of, but they seem to be headed home because, of course, it's getting dark.
I think they just ignore it because that's too much work to do anything about the kids. And I'm going to say, so they have a mohawk, only it's probably longer than mine actually is, because they purposefully like have grown out their hair to do the mohawk. So and lots of plaid and jean jackets and more plaid in places where plaid shouldn't be.
Yeah, just full on some plaid
plaid.
hodgepodge.
They probably have plaid patches on their jeans knees because they probably have busted out they probably have patches on their patches. That's how bad they are at skateboarding, but they don't quit. And yeah, I think I've done a good job.
Yeah, that's really good. And as you pedal, thinking about all the plaid on plaid, these patches, and when you write yourself after the snickers of the younger children, another memory flashes through your head. Maybe it's because you're actually passing through this area of town, or maybe it's just because you don't want to. But what is the section of town or the place in town that gives you the most uneasy feeling? The place X avoids.
Well, my instinct was to go with the cemetery, but that seems too easy.
Well, it is a bit out of the way, too. The cemetery's definitely not in town, but the cemetery's definitely a place to avoid.
But I think that's like just Tony has told too many conspiracy theory stories about what goes on at the cemetery. I'm going to go with there's like an abandoned convenience store like gas station, and I live right by one where like it's boarded up. There isn't any name on the sign anymore. There may not even be a sign anymore, and that place always gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Well, it probably gives you the heebie-jeebies because the people who used to own it are the people that actually opened the South 5 truck stop. They closed that location down. It's actually a couple, you would know. Robert and Lydia are their names, Hernandez. They left that location. It's whispered that they believe that aliens abducted a bunch of people. They are a bit of conspiracy theorists themselves, and people think they're crazy, and so they no longer wanted to stay in that location. So they simply packed up shop and bought a new location, much bigger, more populated store, and set it much closer to like the highway or the main road, as to get more people in and out their second time around. But leaving it has definitely left a shell of a place near where you live.
Can guarantee I avoid it.
Yeah, you go the opposite side of the street, the long way around. As you two, we hear, you I'm sure you like pop the skateboard up as you hit the gravel lot that leads into Skateland. And a flash to Tony. Tony, are you and Alex coming in together? Do you guys travel? Wait, who's the siblings? You're the siblings, right?
No,
you two are the siblings.
X and Alex.
Okay, so that's a good question. The one with X's in the names. I see that. Alex, do you follow X into town?
I'm imagining that Alex like holds on. He has those clamped on metal, dangerous as hell roller skates that he puts over his dress shoes that his parents make him wear, and they hold on to the back of X's like bike until they start doing the SXX tricks.
Yep.
And just lets go and kind of slides off the screen.
It's a skateboard, and I imagine they probably have a button-up, like, plaid, like, pullover, button-up shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But they probably often have tied, so I'm just envisioning you on your sketchy as heck roller skates, holding on to, like, the back of the shirt.
Yeah, I'm just
You
like
hold
holding on to
along.
it, almost like reins, mush kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah,
And
I
then whenever
love
you
it.
start doing tricks, I let go and I hold my arms behind my back, like
Yeah.
I'm standing at military attention or something, and just kind of freak out until I slow down enough to get control,
Yep.
and then just skate along.
I love it. And as you travel with your sister, holding on for dear life and making sure to time it just right to let go so that X doesn't crash and burn, neither do you. You're remembered of a time that you share actually a history with a local NPC. What history do you share with somebody local, other than, of course, your sister?
For some reason, Rosie Tanner, the owner and waitress at the coffee stop and shop, always comes up and says hello to me whenever she sees me. And she'll sometimes bring like little pastries and stuff around. She just snacks on them. She's like, "Do you want a pastry?" And I always say, "No." And then she looks at me concerned because I'm so thin, and then kind of cuts her eyes for a moment and then nods and leaves me alone. And it happens almost every time I see her.
Wow. Well, she's definitely an interesting woman. So I'm trying to see, what do you know about Rosie? You would know that the coffee stop and shop is probably the oldest running business in Southridge, and they do in fact call her Rosie, even though her name is Rose Tanner. She's relatively a nice lady from what you can tell. Why you choose not to take her pastries, is that just a preference? You don't pastry?
I just usually say no to everything.
Oh, I see, you're one of those children.
Oh, yes.
Yes, great.
Someone has to hand it to me without asking if I want it.
Right,
and then I'll
just
accept
tell you.
it.
Yeah, okay, great. She probably waves then as closing up the coffee shop side of the store. The coffee shop is actually just like a front-facing piece to the larger grocery store there that she runs, and she waves as you and your sibling pass by. And the camera cuts down the road to Tony. Pulling in downtown, down through the town. I'm actually going to ask you an interesting one. What's your character's home life like, and how do you feel about living in this place as a conspiracy theorist?
Tony's home life is boring. To her, it's boring because she's got the one mom who is a music teacher and who kind of moves around a bit, but she travels a lot, whether it's giving lessons somewhere. Occasionally she does performances at places, that sort of thing. And then her mother, who's the mortician and very sciencey, down to earth, does not shield Tony from the realities of her job and and all the things that she could find out. And so it's very common for her to be like playing piano, and then mother's coming in and talking about the most recent dead body that they had to get somewhere because she's having problems with the embalming, or somebody did something stupid at one of the local cemeteries, so she has to go out and help with that. And
love it.
So to her it's mundane. That's normal.
Right. Totally normal.
Totally normal, but God forbid she mentions that, like, when somebody makes a crack about a dead body, that it's like, statistically speaking.
Right, yeah. So here's a question I guess I have. Do the local kids fear you because your mother works around dead bodies? Like, how do they treat you because of that? Since you have a pretty normal and boring home life.
Yeah. I imagine it depends on their age.
Okay.
I think the younger kids are probably a little bit afraid. The ones that get tutored with her playing piano are probably less afraid.
Okay.
But when they first come in, it's probably like, ding, ding, ding. Like, they're too scared of being that close to the funeral home. The older kids probably just think she's a death freak. Yeah. Because it's just like, what? Why?
Yeah, why, right? And you might even, what does your bike look like? You ride a bike?
Ride a bike. It's an older bike. It was actually her mother's. It's a red banana seat that she's had since she was just barely big enough. Like, they put the seat down and everything that she could
Right.
fit on it. Now she's kind of big enough that she can sit on it properly without struggling to just put the kickstand down. And it's got a basket which holds her backpack in it, because she, even though, you know, what 15-year-old is going to take a backpack to a skate rink, Tony does.
Yeah, sure. There's no telling. I mean, they probably have. I don't know why I imagine the roller rink that like I grew up with. They had a place to like hang backpacks on a wall. They had those like hooks that you have in classrooms. I don't know why, but I imagine that they have a place if you wanted to hang your backpack or were brave enough to part with it. And you skid in last into the lot of Skateland, which is a relatively large gravel lot. Kids convene both inside and outside. So there are various groupings of kids. You see the jocks and football players kind of circled around a pickup truck. The pretty and popular girls, though fewer of them stand around, you can hear their giggles off in the distance. There's a far corner of the building where, of course, your smokers frequent, wearing their garb and their hoodies. They stand off to the side and kind of eyeball, looking for an opportunity to possibly sell drugs or even find a good fight. Do you all know each other? Well.
Eugene doesn't know anyone well.
Well.
Everyone knows him, and
Yeah.
he's seen everyone around.
Yeah.
I feel like Tony has tried to make friends with Eugene, and Eugene's just been like, nope. Every time.
Running a business here.
Strictly professional.
Yep.
And she just wants to know because he's connected to one of the disappearances, so gives her more information. Or 2, I believe.
Well, I would say
there's actually
3.
Yeah, there's two and a death.
2 and a
Yes, 2 and a death. So yeah, she would definitely want to be friends, whether or not Eugene lets that happen. And I'm just imagining, like, I don't know if anybody would ever hassle Alex, but Tony not standing for it because protect the little dweeb, who is quite similar to herself, where it's just like, just different, and people tend to not be kind to different.
Well, a few people are actually kind of coming up to Eugene. Of course, you're here. I'm hoping that means your shop is open.
Yep. And I take the tarp off the giant box.
Yeah, I imagine like strapped a box
to
in the back.
arrange things a little, shuffle them around.
Yeah.
Put the toys to one side and the snacks to the other, because everything shifts while you.
They definitely buy some candy. From you. I don't know what kind you have for sale, but a few kids are,
Well, one they want, because that's smart business.
That's right, whatever they want. Candied cigarettes are the popular thing right now.
I love that.
Yeah, they just are, along with a few other, popular 80s candies, which I think was like, do they have those edible necklaces? The girls were all about those when I was growing up.
I love those.
The edible necklaces. And those kind of things.
Laffy Taffy now and later.
Laffy Taffy and now, yeah, there you go. So these are the kinds of things that you
Lemon
managed
heads.
to get your hands on. Oh, lemon heads, yeah. There's one kid who calls himself the lemon head. He's a blonde child, and that's all he eats all the time. His tongue is permanently stained a strange kind of yellow jaundice color.
He's
From
never
All he
gonna
eats
have
is
a
lemon
girlfriend.
heads, and he's blonde, and the reason we call him lemon head isn't all of that, it's the shape of his head.
It's the shape of his head, not the
I'm
yellow
telling
at
that
all.
'cause that's me.
And so, you guys see Eugene's getting quite a bit of business tonight. This is also the Friday starting your Thanksgiving break, or your fall break, I think is what we would probably call it. So, there's a rouse in the air with the kids. There's a lot of laughter and a lot of fun kind of going on. Every time the door to the skate rink's opened, you can hear the music coming out, the lights of the disco ball hitting the floor. But all of you are
fun.
here.
I am at the entrance to the alley, you said, right?
Make out.
So I'm at the entrance with my back to the wall, and then everything is going on here behind me.
Yeah, Lemonhead walks up and he's like, I need some more. I'm out. My box is out.
You gotta take it easy on those lemon heads, Lemonhead.
He goes, I didn't even get a tongue burn this week.
You know, it's almost Thanksgiving. I got some turkey jerky. You want to
He
try
goes,
some
you know what
of
my
that?
favorite thing to do at Thanksgiving is? I like to take my lemon heads and I stuff them right in my stuffing.
That sounds really, you do you.
It gives it gives it this gives it this sour texture.
I bet it does.
You're gonna boil your insides, kid.
He kind of
Oh, wait, Tony.
He goes, if I don't eat them, I get a stomach ache.
That's called withdrawal. That's what all the drug addicts get.
He goes,
I
I'm
heard
not a
about
drug
this.
addict. I just like my lemon heads, you know.
I saw this very special episode on this one TV show we all watched that I won't name because I don't know.
Copyright.
Because copyright.
Copyright.
It's called
problem.
Yeah, it's called copyright problems.
Copyright Kids.
Yeah, copyright kids.
Real popular. Don't end up like that one character who was crying on that show. But as long as you got money.
Oh,
I'll sell it.
I got money, and he kind of digs in some pockets, and he pulls out a few coins, and it looks like he has a $5 bill, which is probably his allowance for like the month.
Hey, no worries, I got change.
Oh,
Unless you want like $5 worth of.
no, I can't hide that many. You know, my mom, she started going through my sock drawer, so.
Oh, I could teach you some tricks. Don't worry. But later, right? I got a line.
Oh, right, and he kind of passes over. You make change, and he kind of
dig it out of my hoodie with like.
Oh,
the
you got a
hand
hoodie?
Pockets,
Yeah.
And it's all in there. It's just like a big bunch of coins. Tony, you want something? Can I get you something?
Yeah, I'll have some of that jerky.
You want the jerky? Excellent. I did not pack this for nothing. All right. Here you go.
Thank
And that'll
you.
be whatever price is appropriate.
Right, for the time period, because we don't
No.
remember with inflation.
Capitalism is not this player's jam.
Hey. So did you hear?
Well, did someone else go missing? I did not do it. I was nowhere near that place.
Well, I know that.
You know
You're
more
too
than me.
small, and some of the missings go too far back. We weren't alive yet.
I appreciate you calling me small, Tony, and I pat my gut.
No, it's the head cheerleader.
Oh.
Her name was Janice.
I was gonna say Heather
Oh, Heather's perfect. Even better 80s name. Her name was Heather.
because that's my touchstone.
I love it.
The one with the hair?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the adults have really got to bug up their butts.
So what happened? Did she die or?
Right
She
now,
went
she's
missing.
missing.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
she's
think
in
she
the
was
big
going-
city.
I think she was going home from practice. People are really freaked out, which is silly because, the last missing, they were walking home from school. Dot, please tell me if I'm going too far with
Nope,
making
that's
crap up.
it's perfect.
Okay.
All I knew was that she'd gone missing.
Yeah. Because,
I don't know. I still think people are just leaving town. This place sucks. No offense to all these lovely establishments.
statistically speaking, we have way more missings than anywhere else in the country.
I mean, that's just variance, There's
Not
this
that
one
kind
guy
of
I know
variance.
that only rolls
Where's
sixes
Alex? He
on
can
his
explain
dice.
this to you.
You look around. You guys are actually at the corner of the alley, where you can obviously, this is the makeout alley, but it's also, you can hear the skateboards like popping and clicking off of makeshift ramps made of trash cans and ply and those kind of things. And Alex, you hear your name pop up over the crowd.
I kind of just lean backwards and slide on these skates over and kind of trottle to a stop. I said, did you know that lemon trees produce over 600 pounds of lemons a year?
Wait,
What?
lemons grow on trees?
Yeah.
I ain't never seen no
I'm
lemon
sorry
tree.
to dash those dreams.
He was like, he kind of, his mind's blown as he pops another lemon head and walks off.
The original lemon was actually a hybrid between an orange and a citrine.
Well, lemons ain't real? That is messed up.
Everything is just a blend of two things when you cut down to it.
You know, kid, you know far too much stuff, you know?
I go to Eugene, and I usually, every time I see Eugene, I swap out paper money that my folks give me for my allowance for change, because I like the coins better. So I'm like giving him like $1 or whatever.
Oh, I know, whitewashing. That's totally okay. I like coins.
Money laundering, but yes.
Whatever.
Technical term.
Right.
Maybe you can help Eugene understand that statistics mean something. We're too far outside of the skew.
Oh, statistics. Oh, what can I not tell you about statistics?
How about
And then
everything, bro?
I realize I got excited and I reel it back in. Sorry. Sometimes I can fly off the handle like that.
If you go too far, I'll squirt you with the squirt gun. No worries.
That terrifies me beyond reason.
What, this? It's a water gun.
Oh, appreciate your threats, Eugene.
like squirted into the air.
Jeez, Eugene, you could mess up somebody's hair with that.
No, why did you, what am I? What?
There's a new person missing. And I was trying to explain
That is statistically unlikely, given our populace.
that we have a statistically higher number of teenagers going missing than anywhere else in the country. And
Does
that's
that
weird.
mean that every time someone goes missing, it's statistically more unlikely for another person to go missing?
You would think with, like, birth rates and repopulation, but apparently we just have a shortage of teenagers.
Well, dang. No, we got enough schmucks.
Yeah.
Ricky and X, you would probably hear most of this conversation through
I'm
the sounds of
kidding.
your wheels. You know, here and there, they're talking of missing cheerleaders, and that's kind of what you get of the conversation. Ricky, where do you hang out as the loner weirdo?
Ricky has been in the middle of this conversation the entire time because he's the kid that nobody pays attention to.
The camera
He's listened to the
slightly
entire
pans.
thing. He was there before Eugene showed up and set up shop because he knew where it would happen. And he looks at the group and kind of loud enough to be heard, but mostly just talking to himself because nobody ever talks to him. He says, "She's probably dead. D-E-A-D. So dead."
It's a weird thing to cheer about, but yeah, maybe.
That usually happens after 24 hours, and it hasn't quite been that long yet.
Why would she be dead after 24 hours?
It's just their chances of being found dead go up after 24 hours.
But if you're dead, you're dead. I don't understand what time has to do with it. If somebody took her and killed her, she's dead.
We don't know that, though. We don't know that any of the people who are missing are dead.
I
You
mean,
can't say they're dead if
people
there's
don't
not a
just
body.
vanish, you know. They go somewhere, and if they're dead, there's like this huge pile of dead people. And
What was originally a very exciting conversation about statistics has turned morbid, and I am going to leave. And then I leave.
And as you turn to leave, Alex, you accidentally, like, there are two teenagers, two women, female, that you basically bump into as you turn. They're walking past, they hold hands. It's well known that this is Nikki and Lisa. They are inseparable teens, sisters. And they are only ever seen here at the rink. It's rumored they are homeschooled. And they have this kind of enticing, alluring nature, but also vaguely terrifying.
do they look like sisters, or is this an '80s thing where we assume that every pair of girls that are dating are sisters?
Are sisters? No, they are very much sisters. They're not proper identical twins, but they are twins, twin sisters. Yeah, but they're from the same family, at least from what you can tell. That's relatively known. This is no like vampire type situation, at least from what you can tell. Yeah, come play with us. Yeah, no, it's not that kind of thing. They're just they're rather beautiful, but they are definitely kind of odd. And because they don't interact with the kids anywhere other than outside this place, you don't know them very well. They just show up. They are wonderful skaters. They spend all night skating together, and then they go home. And Nikki looks down at you, Alex. She has curly brunette hair, and she kind kind of steps to the side to let you pass. The two of them stop. She lets go of her sister's hand, and she says, you really should look out where you're going.
I apologize. Pardon me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
It's
I'm
like
like
that-
sliding between. Pardon.
Are they
pardon.
threatening him? Like, it's
excuse.
Not that you can tell, but there's definitely, like, they step to the side to let him pass. They're older than Alex. They're probably 13 or 14, the girls.
Blame the skates.
And they let him slip past. The two of them kind of, their heads turned together to watch him, like, walk off.
so creepy.
They look down, they look down Makeout Alley, and they see the skaters and the snogging and leaning against brick walls and things like that, and they turn their heads and go to the proper skating rink. Of course, as they open the door, music pours out, and they both disappear inside.
They're so weird.
They are a little, homeschool people.
A lot weird.
Somebody nearby goes, I heard that they don't go to school because they can't come out in the sunlight.
It's because they're too stupid to get into school. 'Cause
It's
when we
literally-
go to
Does
school, we get like a
homeschool
test
make
to
you
go to do.
stupid?
No, it don't make you stupid. It keeps you stupid.
Oh.
But it's really more complicated because you need to be smart to get into school. Because you need to be really smart to get into like university and
So
stuff.
they're not
It's the same for
smart?
school. I haven't talked to them, but
And whoever this kid is, probably maybe 9, she runs off and begins like whispering to somebody, starting the rumor that they're definitely not smart because they're homeschooled. Because that's how kids work.
reality,
Good
it
job.
hurts.
Eugene,
Tony is actually clapping, by the way.
Eugene, why are we spreading rumors about people we don't know? Like,
I mean, I didn't tell nobody. Someone asked. This is
And-
my honest opinion.
you know what? I think I'm gonna go inside. I should probably work now.
Yeah.
You
Thanks again for letting me run my business out of your alley. That's real cool.
We don't let you. You show up and it happens.
Yeah, thanks for that.
It's about this time actually that the back door of that goes into this alleyway pops open, and the who is she? She's the lunch lady, right? Edna's her name. Edna pops her head out. Edna Farley, knowing that you have a shift X, and that Eugene is definitely taking business. She pops her head out and she says, "Hey! Stop selling candy to the kids! I just made a new batch of popcorn! And X!" She points, "You're late!" Of course, everybody in Snogging Alley, like, stops snogging. All of the skaters, like, toss the boards off of the trash cans and try to not make it look like they've made a makeshift ramp back here. She doesn't care. She's got stains all over her apron, and she just slams the door behind her.
I was gonna have a witty retort that I'm never on time, but I guess it's time to work now. Is this one of those like back doors to the back alley that you can only use from the inside, or can I open the back door without having them
No,
open?
I would. There are 2 doors out of here. There is a back fire escape door, which is what the kids actually use to come and go from the rink itself to the back alleyway if you don't want to go out the front and walk all the way around the building. Then there is the kitchen door that goes into, like, the back management office and those kind of things, which is where your locker would be for working, and how to access the concession stand. So that door you do have to knock. That's the one that's locked.
You know what? On second thought, I don't really want to run into Edna right now, so I'm gonna go around to the front door just to be even a little bit more late.
Yep.
And take my sweet time.
Yeah, you take your sweet time going. Anybody else going in the skating rink? Are you guys gonna hang out in the back alley?
I go
Uh,
inside.
Staying put.
Stand put. This is where my business at. A few people actually. It's getting that time of night where like the music is turning up. The younger kids, especially if they're not allowed to be out this late, are already headed home. And so you're getting your teenagers and your high schoolers are starting to show up. Cars are beginning to pull up. They like to hang out outside, and it makes for an interesting like dynamic. So a lot of the teenagers go in when the high schoolers pull up. But X, you head inside, and you are very quickly overcome by the smell, the sounds of arcade machines off in the kind of corner, the flashing of lights, the disco balls, the awkward teens holding hands, circling the rink as much as they can. There is a what they call the kiddie rink. Most skate rinks used to have them, which is like a much smaller kind of 15 by 15 foot circle where like the younger kids or people that are not used to skates can like use the handrails and like go around, versus the larger rink where you'll get run over. Yeah, tonight seems to be a pretty busy night.
So I'm gonna have to do more than the bare minimum.
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy one, that's for sure.
Cool. I go try to sneak to my locker and hope Edna doesn't actually know I'm, so
Okay.
that she doesn't
If
try
you
to
wanna make
push
a-
me to work.
Okay, I was about to say, if you want to make a proper sneak, that one you'll have to roll for.
Okay, what am I rolling?
So, for everybody at home, since this is our first roll, if you've never played Kids on Bikes before, the first thing I'm going to do is set a difficulty level. So, how difficult is it for you to achieve what you want, which is to sneak past Edna without being seen? So, I'm going to say this is,
Like,
have to go right past the door. She is busy slinging stuff, so I'm going to say this is probably, you only need about, well, I won't tell you. How about that? I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
But
Is it flight?
yeah, you can roll a flight for this. I usually
Okay.
allow you to choose what you roll, as long as it makes
Cool.
sense.
Because this is where my D20 is.
Yes.
Ooh.
So it just, for those of you that watch Witch Girls, it's very similar. It's a dice assignment system, meaning that each skill that they have is assigned to a different die. So a D20, I think all the way down to D4, right?
And I'm assuming I don't have another modifier on top of just my dice roll?
Unless you actually have, let me pull up your character sheet. Unless you have, boop, boop, ba-doo. Anything special, your strengths would be rebellious, so no.
Oh, cool.
Oh, a 6, perfect. You made it. You slipped past, no problem.
Not a very
It's just a door, and she's like actively like pouring slushies and slinging hot dogs as fast as she can. The line is building. You slip past her, she doesn't even notice you.
Cool. I put my stuff away and go out and hand people skates as they walk in. And even though I'm a slacker,
Mm-hmm.
I have memorized like everybody's shoe size
Oh.
or skate size. So
Nice.
if
That's a little creepy.
That math gene.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I love that. This would be I'm just gonna let you start passing it out. A lot of people, you see a lot of similar faces, but it is also a holiday, so you're gonna see a lot of faces that only come out on special occasions
when we're not in school,
when we're not in school.
those ones I might have to be like give them the eye, like the look that says like what is your shoe size without saying what is your shoe size. But like most of the regulars that I can just pull out skates, I probably have their favorite pair like set aside for them somewhere.
Yep. And you're passing them out. Kids are hitting the rink. It's beginning to get relatively busy as the camera cuts back outside to where you're hearing the popping of beer cans on the backs of trucks where the high schoolers are drinking.
I'm selling them orange juice so they can mix it into their drinks. Not the beer, but the
Yeah,
the other stuff.
into the drinks that they have in hand. This is a different time for all of you at home. Yeah. What are you all up to?
I think Tony's trying to figure out, because Tony's also in high school, if there's anybody there who knew the head cheerleader.
Oh, for sure.
And if anybody is safe to approach.
Her 3 best friends, which would be the other cheerleaders that she hung out with, are actively kind of around a series of pickup trucks and jeeps and things with the rest of the high schoolers and the jocks.
Are they by themselves, or are they
There's
surrounded by gaggle?
No. It's like all of their vehicles are like lined up, and so some of them are sitting in the backs of trucks. So I would say there's about 12 of them total. There's about 3 cars, give or take. The girls definitely came in one of the girls' jeeps, and then there are 2 trucks with the varsity and JV boys kind of hanging out. They wear Letterman jackets. They definitely are not interested in you. They are in conversation. They're flirting. The girls are sitting in the back. One of them's doing her lipstick in the mirror of the car. But you know what? The three girls, she finishes doing her lipstick, and you kind of hear them say something to the group of guys. They clearly are going in to possibly hit the rink, or to pose like they're gonna be skating, you know, whatever they do. And the three of them kind of start walking towards the main entrance.
Okay. This is great. Staff is like, don't do this. Don't do this. Please don't do this. My character, on the other hand.
Yep.
Oh gosh. Okay. So she would wait until they're within earshot because she doesn't want to seem like she's being bitchy about it. And would just kind of say, I was sorry to hear about Heather. I hope they find her.
The three girls stop. They don't look at you. The one that seems to kind of be leading their gaggle now turns around. Her name is Celia. And Celia, she doesn't even walk over to you. She just turns her head and she says, thanks. It's sad, I guess.
Wow, that red scrunchie's gone to your head, huh?
She kind of like adjusts it to make sure it's like still like she wants it. And she says, I guess it's just, you know, she'd been talking about leaving for a while anyway. She wanted to be an actress and all that. Big city and whatnot.
After graduation?
Maybe. And the other girls like also like roll eyes and they're like, look, I'm not convinced she left. She was seeing an older guy.
Like from college?
I don't know.
Did you ever meet him?
No. What do I want with an older guy? And the other girl's like, yeah, I mean, look what we've got. She like turns around and looks at these varsity guys who are like, they're like pushing each other and kind of, you know, messing about.
Bull haircuts in Center Park.
Yes.
This is
One of them's definitely
Curls up just a little bit in the back.
just in the back. His name is definitely Chet.
Definitely.
That's a great name.
It's definitely
I
Chet.
have a flashback.
I feel like this is an opportune moment to mention that Tony is ace, so their whole thing is like Chinese to her.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, I don't
I
get
also
it.
picture Eugene as Ace, so Ace 5.
Nice.
So it's just kind of like, yeah, sure. You want the beer guzzling meatheads who are probably never going to leave this town. Okay.
I mean, at least they get to wear those letter jackets. Yeah, the letter jackets.
Well, I don't
It
want to
makes their arms look so much bigger.
Okay, well, to preserve what brain cells I have left, you enjoy being arm candy for the night.
She goes, look, I don't know nothing about Heather's disappearance. What I do know is that she used to meet this mysterious guy over behind the radio station. She said they would go up to the cemetery and, you know.
Thanks.
Psh, don't thank me. You didn't hear it from us. And they kind of like walk off. And one of the girls goes, oh, wait. It's not skating without bubblegum. And one of the other girls is kind of big, blonde, curly hair, just like massive, walks up to Eugene and goes, you got any more of that like double bubble?
I got the triple one.
Triple. It always sticks in my teeth. Whatever. And she kind of like slides you some coins. And she goes, she's already
I hand it over.
like actively smacking on a piece of bright pink bubble gum. You don't know how long it's been in her mouth. She takes that, sticks it to the side of the building where there's like a collection of bubble gum. And she
All from her.
probably all from her and her friends. And she pops a new piece in her mouth and like walks off. And you see like a giant bubble. You hear it like pop as her and her friends open and walk into the skate rink.
It's probably what happened to her head if she had an original thought in it.
Yeah, she doesn't seem that bright.
Anyone else want to go check out the radio station with me? please?
What's at the radio station? I was in earshot. So
The rumor is that Heather was dating an older guy and meeting him by the radio station that nobody ever comes in or out of.
and you think this is where she disappeared?
It's a place to start.
So wait. There's a place where we think people disappear, and you want to walk right in.
Look, it's literally down the block.
All right. So follow up. Do you have a way to protect yourself, like in case
Yeah.
this older guy is some kind of whack job who's been stealing kids since 20 years ago?
Yeah, of course I do. Antonio go into her backpack and she grabs out this mag light while she's like digging around in the bottom. Cause I put in that she's got a flashlight, and I'm saying a little one. She's got a big Mac.
Yeah, one of those like silver ones that's like this long and like
that you could use to crack somebody over the skull with, and pulls out a little red utility knife, because I believe the actual name of it is copywritten.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Yeah, like a multi-purposed pocket knife.
A Finnish military knife.
Yes, thank you, Jamie.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah,
That looks good. It's a big flashlight.
well, it gets dark.
Well, you could take these kids. I point to the remaining 2 party members.
Which I'm sure.
I'm inside.
Yeah,
I was about to
it's
say,
just
my sibling.
It's just, I imagine, I don't know why, that you're again like blending with the wall, Ricky. Just like.
Oh, absolutely.
well,
then I'll
she
point to
was
Ricky
talking
and
to
Lemonhead.
Ricky and
Yeah.
Eugene.
Okay.
Lemonhead will still be there for whatever reason.
Ricky,
He's like sucking a lemon head.
You want to go to a death trap?
it's not a death trap. It's a radio station.
It might be a death trap.
No
You've
one
not
has
been
actually.
inside.
No one's gone missing from there before. And I'm pretty sure the only reason people don't see anybody going in and out is because of how long the radio announcers' shifts are. And nobody sits in the back. Because the door to go up is in the back.
Will the 2 of you keep arguing when we go?
Do you want us to?
I'd rather not.
Kinda.
It's
Okay,
about.
so I'm getting mixed messages. Whichever one wants their thing to happen, you gave me some money, that's what'll happen.
I'm not gonna pay you.
All right, so arguing it is. Let's go.
You could say no.
I've already decided now I'm gonna go.
Ricky?
Ricky's gonna go.
Ricky, you guys kind of gather yourself. You begin closing up shop. About this time, you hear a tussle. In the parking lot, the raised voices of a bunch of teenagers. Sounds like the jocks and possibly another group of people have started a little bit of a fight. Somebody actually yells out, "Fight!" Kids begin kind of running and collecting. Somebody goes to the front door of the skating rink and leans in and yells, "Fight!" I would say, obviously, the 2 of you in there, X and Alex, you guys hear this. Kids come pummeling past you to witness this. There's about 6 people in the parking lot now. They're kind of punching each other. One guy's on top of another guy. One of the wrestling guys throws another one on the ground. It's not necessarily that anybody's winning. They seem to be just deep into it, punching each other. You don't exactly know what went down, but there seems to be something going on.
So I feel like, as the other employee, that I shouldn't allow a fight to go on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also really reckless. So
Yep.
I'm gonna run right in the middle and try to break this up.
Okay.
My fight's a D4, just FYI.
Right. I need you to actually roll a fight.
Okay. Here goes nothing.
Are you taking any action against anyone, or are you just, running into the middle of it?
Like, I'm gonna try to push people and keep people,
Okay.
but not with words.
Okay, so roll the fight first.
I don't think this is gonna go well.
Hey, okay, you got a 4. And now I'm gonna have you roll a charm and tell me what you say as you run into the middle of this.
Break it up, take this elsewhere. You're not fighting in my parking lot.
All right, roll the charm now. Okay. All right. Bad news is before you can get all that out, you do take a punch to the face. A solid punch to the face. Yep. This is from a hand of one of the kind of loner types who wears like fingerless black gloves, also in flannel. Decks you one accidentally. As soon as he recognizes that he punched the wrong person, immediately like tosses hands up. JV boys, on the other hand, are in it to win it. They're competitive, and they're not going to go down without a fight. Now, you say this, and a few of them start backing off. Mostly the kind of metalheads that jumped them, and they begin backing off. On the other hand, the JV is not so convinced, and one of them gets up in your face, and he's like, "What? You want some too?" He goes, "Last time I checked, you didn't own this place."
You know what? That's it. I'm gonna be real reckless, and I'm gonna try to punch him.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a +1 for using your reckless. It is a flaw, so you'll gain the +1. One of the cool things in Kids on Bikes that I love is there is no such thing as a failure. Everything is on some kind of graded scale, and it's more about consequence. So it's one of the things I really like. So there's no failure. You will punch them. Okay.
The rolls just keep getting
Okay,
worse.
out of 4. The good news is you land it. You reach up and you punch this solid, very chiseled high school jaw. As all 80s movies, they definitely don't look like they're in high school. Not like any high school I've ever seen. You slam it against their face. His head kind of turns and he kind of looks back at you and he's like, "Oh, so you do want to fight." And the rest of the JV begin kind of like circling around X.
Well, it was nice playing with you guys. This is the end of my character.
Question. Mm-hmm. You had mentioned a mob of adults.
Okay. So, I did.
Are they in the area?
They are in, like, kind of into town a little bit more. Most of them are, oh, you mean the watch guard, the watch crew.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'm gonna have you roll a brains check on this to see if you can... You are the conspiracy theorist. I imagine somewhere in a notebook you've started drawing out all the locations you've seen this collection of adults, so go ahead and roll it.
I'm gonna vote my mom into that group.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
That was my D20.
All right. Here's the thing. They're only ever spotted when they show up at somebody's house, when they start accusing people of things. There are very few places in this town to convene that is not a personal house. And it doesn't seem like to be that they're working out of any one particular home. The only places that you would know that they could convene in some kind of secrecy, especially after hours, would be the library. Is an ideal place, possibly for them. Would also be the truck stop, though that's got a lot of foot traffic and would not be very secretive. They might also be able to gather in some of the back alleyways of some of the local businesses, like Stop and Shop, like The Ridge, the radio station. But you would have to kind of go looking for them.
Nobody in the immediate vicinity, then.
Not the only adults that are in the immediate vicinity would be inside of the skate rink.
Okay.
Kind of
have to
assume
save
they
me, I
know,
did
considering
just-
this is loud.
I know you did, but I had another idea of trying to distract the adults to go do the stupid dangerous thing and use the bullies as cover. So they don't get in the way.
Yeah.
And
They're
save you at
already
the same
distracted.
I
time.
understand now. I got you.
It also would have helped you, so, maybe.
Or I just get in trouble for punching a jock. One of the two.
That's true. They begin
Yeah.
they do step up and begin like moving around. Does anybody want to take action? Because they are
So
definitely
these-
like they're gonna jump
So
X.
a bunch of jocks are ganging up on one person.
Well, I mean, yes.
Now
This
they
has
are.
never happened before.
Okay.
A reminder. I'm
Ricky-
8. I can't do much in this situation.
Yep.
Ricky appears from nowhere. And because he's a weirdo loner, he has he's always prepared, and he has on him. They've been in his back pocket a pair of homemade, like he actually made them in the basement, nunchucks. They're just solid wooden dowels with metal eyelets on them, held together by a length of dog chain. I actually made these.
I love it.
And he takes them out and he holds it by one handle and he drops the other handle down. And kind of looks at our head. I guess this is Chet.
Yeah, Chet's the one that definitely stepped up to X.
And is kind of twirling these so that they're there's some motion. They make sure they're noticed.
Yeah.
They're
This is
noticeable.
screaming for like a massive failure. Let's go. Come on.
And
love this.
and he's saying, "So you're gonna gang up on? You're all gonna gang up on him."
Okay. Are you
And
trying?
just-
Yeah.
What's that?
Are you gonna want to actually fight them, or are you just wanting to make a charm check to like try to get them to listen?
Well,
to
here's the question. Does this qualify? What does grit mean? What is grit?
you. Grit usually refers to grit and brawn. Grit is your mental, and brawn is your physical. So usually grit and brawn are about how much of something that you can actually take. If you're scared, you would roll for grit, right? If it's brawn, if you actually take a punch, like X may do here in a second, it would be against their brawn.
Okay.
So that's the easiest way to look at it. There are also other uses. How would you like to use your grit in this situation?
Well, I was looking at this. Like the thought was that he's got a weapon on him. This is going to be like an intimidation kind of thing. But if grit is for him to resist something to deal with,
It's not just resistance. It can be your grit. What we would do is actually we'd grit off. We'd both roll grit. Let's see. Yeah, it's usually to break a character emotionally or physically.
So
Yeah.
technically, I could roll grit to resist the damage. Of
Right, if you're not as strong brawn-wise. So, okay, go ahead and roll a grit as you step up and kind of like, you're going to pick on one kid. Let's see if it shudders them at all.
Okay, well, this is my D20. 'Cause
Okay, good, okay.
That's a 12.
A 12. Do you have any...
You can see it.
Yeah, that's good. Do you have any flaws or abilities that you can add a +1 to that?
Well, his strength is prepared.
I mean, I feel like bringing your nunchucks to the skate rink is prepared. You were prepared for a fight. A man that carries a set of homemade nunchucks. So I'll give that to you. So a 13. This is actually pretty good. Something about the whirling of the nunchucks really just like stops them all. And they actually, they had hands on X's like flannel collar, kind of beginning to pick X up. And they put X down to turn and look at you, Ricky. And he's like, we weren't picking a fight with her or them, but they, had to get in the middle of it. Business that didn't belong to them.
Can I take this opportunity to jump on Chet's back?
Yeah, roll another fight.
Cool.
Keep on rolling that D4.
Are you sure it's not brawn? Can I make an argument for brawn because it's physical strength to hold on to the back of
Are
someone?
you trying to actually take them down? Like, tackle them?
I mean, if it happened, I'm not really brawny or fighty, to be
Okay.
completely fair. It's my D4 and my D6.
I'll give you the
Right,
brawn for
like-
this one. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, cool. Cool.
As
This is
Chet
so
turns with all of his friends, Ricky being the perfect distraction. None of them even have fist ups anymore. Now they're just kind of picking on Ricky. X, you make a full-on tackle move, trying to tackle the head varsity football player.
lineman, no
Lineman, yeah, no less. You jump on the back. You now are just being worn as a backpack. He doesn't budge under your weight. You hop on, and he kind of like, he looks over his shoulder. Imagine your head, like right
Probably.
here, far too close, and he's like, you shouldn't have done that, little one. And he goes to reach for you. It's about this time that you hear a strange sound. Eugene, all of you. There's this like kerfuffle and this figure that comes running out of the shadows nearby, and he's like, "You gotta get out of blah blah blah!" And he's like crazy waving his arms. He wears this long trench coat. He comes running up. The varsity guys are like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" They drop you off your back X, and they back up. A few of them hop in cars. The metalheads have long disappeared. I need all of you to roll a grit check to not be scared. And
I just want you to know I'm on my butt on the ground.
That's true. You can't be any. Yeah. Okay,
I got a
4.
4.
Oh, nicely done, Eugene.
I'm standing in here.
Something above a 4. I didn't know that was possible.
Alex and Ricky.
11.
Okay, you got an 11. Okay.
I actually can't get my grit to roll off my character sheet.
Oh, weird.
There's a modifier
have to click it again.
thing that
There's
shows
a modifier box that pops up. You got to make sure to click OK through it.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh,
Let me try
weird.
it again.
Okay. You might just have to.
Refresh.
There you go.
There you
Oh, ho, ho. Okay.
Max on my D10.
Max on a D10.
Exploding
Yeah,
dice.
it's considered an exploding die, so you're gonna roll again.
Oh, now all the other 1,000 rolls popped up. Hold on.
Oh, did they? That's funny.
Yeah.
Little delay. Okay, perfect. So, 13. Nicely done. All right, the only people that really get scared are going to be Tony and X. Tony and X. We're very much underprepared for this, as this guy comes like running out. Maybe it's the kerfuffle of like everybody departing that really scares you. The hair stands up on the back of your neck. Tony, I'm gonna give this to you because you're the local conspiracy theorist. This is the local crazy homeless man that everybody talks about. He is a loony bin. So says most of the adults. Want to stay away from him. They've tried to run him out of town multiple times, and nobody can ever seem to get him to go away. He appears at the oddest times, when you least expect it. He kind of like breaks the group up, and he kind of looks around at the 5 of you kind of left standing here, especially the 3 of you that he didn't scare. He's missing a few front teeth. He smells like garbage, and he has like one crazy eye. And he kind of looks at all of you, and he goes, "Are you all right?"
I'm like scooting on my butt, like crab crawling as fast as away.
He goes,
from
wait.
this stuff.
He kind of like puts his hands up and hunches over. He goes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
I need to say thank you.
He puts out a very disgusting hand to help you up off the ground. He wipes it on his disgusting jacket, realizing his hand's dirty. He puts it back out to help you up.
Thanks.
In a time before hand sanitizer.
Yeah, this is the 80s. He goes, I just couldn't let him gang up on you like that. I remember when I was a kid, they used to gang up on me.
I mean, I kind of put myself in the middle of that.
He goes, yeah, why'd you do that anyways? Let them fight it out.
Because they need to know that they don't rule the school.
I think they factually do.
You know what, Sib? You're not helping.
Okay.
And he
I
goes,
mean, they're
I
just
thought his name was
scared.
Alex. His name is Sib. It's a weird name. I ain't never heard
He's
that
my
one before.
sibling. I'm too lazy to say that. I'm a
cute.
slacker.
I don't even have it in me.
I'm a slacker.
My name, I go by one letter.
X.
X. This is, this man, he looks, when everything kind of settles down, to Tony. And he says, I didn't mean to, I didn't mean to eavesdrop or nothing. But, I know that alleyway.
Is that like where you sleep? Or
Oh, no. I sleep, I sleep, where do I sleep? Oh, I sleep under the overpass out there by, by the stop, yeah.
I make a note to narc on him to my mom, so she can get rid of him.
You make the mental note. He
Yep.
doesn't seem to care, at least at the moment. has it put together that you might use that against him. He goes, I see things. I hear things. It's the, yeah. That girl,
Did you
she wasn't
yeah.
meeting any kind of man in that alleyway.
Who was she meeting?
Suits.
A lot of people wear
Suits?
suits.
Suits.
Oh, suits. All right.
Yeah, some men in suits.
Business folk.
Have you seen it round town? The black van. Everybody can
I
roll a
feel-
brain check to see if you
Yeah.
remember seeing it around town. You all
Come
wrote
on,
down
D20.
through 12. Yeah, everybody roll a brain.
Roll a brain.
There's a number higher than 5.
Yes, you're getting there, X.
It boot me on the snoot. I got a 10.
Nice. Okay. What'd you roll, Ricky?
2.
2. Okay. You definitely, as much of a loner weirdo as you are, you have not noticed any kind of black van.
I ain't never seen a van before.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
There's
as a
no
black
such thing
van.
as a van.
Tony sees vans all the time. Her mother drives one.
Tony, when he says a black van, there's like that moment of that conspiracy theorists have where all the pieces start like, you're like Sherlocking in the middle of the sky, and you think about your trips the last few days, over the last few weeks through town, and in fact, there has been a sketchy black van parked out front of the hardware store and the radio station. It moves every once in a while, but it seems to stay on the main strip of town, always parked in kind of a new place. The windows are tinted, you can't see in it, and it never seems to be on. It's just always there. And you realize that you've seen it 3 or 4 times over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Max leans in really conspiratorially to everyone, especially Tony and the... I don't know why they're getting this close to the man that scared the living bejesuses out of them. He goes, they go, I think it's the FBI.
No, they drive sedans.
I don't know, black van. It's some shadow government something or other.
Did the 2 guys happen to look alike and have no hair?
Oh, I haven't seen them. Not really. Just the back of their heads. Suits.
But
Hair.
did they have hair? Okay.
One of them was kind of balding. He looked up. He's definitely balding.
Okay. And you saw... Why would she be talking to guys in suits? Have you seen anything with the van other than just seeing the van?
Maybe they're like Hollywood agents, and they got like a photo lab in the back of their van.
He stops and thinks that's actually a good possibility. He thinks about it. I mean, maybe.
Modern Steph is disapproving of this logic. The 80s doesn't know better. Because
Right.
the DARE program.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the DARE program of the 80s.
Dare to believe.
This is, of course, this is going to be this homeless man, your powered character through the run of this show.
The homeless guy is our super friend.
The homeless guy is your
Okey-dokey.
super friend.
Okay.
So
That's what
My
I've always
parents.
wanted. a
as long
homeless
as you
man
keep
super
him
friend.
around, he will, in fact, help you. I was going to give you guys what his powers were, but we may have to find those out, because one of the cool things that I love is I don't control this character and their actions. I simply speak for them. You actually control their actions, and as the group's powered character, you each get a power that you control. So,
cool.
yes, it is very cool. Oh, and you know what? PH and who rolled the other 2? Was that Craig? That would have been considered a failure for this roll, which means, like, a hard failure, which means you actually both get an adversity, is that what they call it? Adversary token. Adversity token. That's what they call it. Adversity token.
Or we could just call it a token.
A token. Yeah, I had to get. I was like, what is the word I'm looking for there? You each get
University
one,
token.
which allows you to do a fair share of things. It can be spent to reroll. It can also be spent, I believe, to give your powered character a chance to use one of their special powers. So yeah. I will give you those powers here in a second when it seems relevant. But for now, just know that if you keep him around, he will be your powered character for the run of this show.
Excuse me, transient vagrant. What is your first and preferred name?
Oh, they just call me Ralph.
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 Okay.
Ralph.
I think.
I can tell that you're going to spend a lot of time with us children moving forward.
He is.
He kind of
Why?
looks around, making sure no other adults heard that. The only thing that he sees are the two kind of weird sisters off in the corner. They stare at all of you. Most of the parking lot has cleared out at this point when he kind of ran in. A bunch of kids ran back inside just to do their thing, but the jocks and most of the cars have left for the day.
I thought for sure that sisters were going to be our powered characters. BTS.
Right?
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
They just had that
Tony-
creepy,
I love
like,
Ralph.
something's up with them.
This all
You
seems
like-
pretty normal. Like, I was
Ralph
thinking
for praise.
Alf or, like, the Great Kazoo.
I thought she was gonna say Malone.
That's a different NPC. So yeah, and he kind of says, I didn't mean to bother all of you. Please don't tell nobody. I don't want to get in any kind of trouble. I'm gonna go back to my overpass.
Thank
All
you.
right? You have an excellent night there, sir.
Oh, no. I have a peace
wait.
offering for you. So they're wearing a flannel shirt, but they have the flannel shirt tied to them. Here, why don't you have a new piece of clothing and you come with us to... Aren't we going to the radio station?
Yeah.
He looks kind of nervous about that. His eyes get big. He goes, I don't really
I
go
wanna make
around the
sure
radio station no more.
But
Why not?
Is it from all the dead birds?
Well, there's
Dead
that.
Dead birds?
Yeah, the roof's covered in just pigeons. But that's not why.
Okay. So why?
It's just weird vibes.
I go, Tony.
Can't stop
This guy
the
seems a
weird
little
vibes."
weird. Are you sure you want him to come with us?
We're
His eye,
all weird.
twitches. He goes,
I was
yeah,
whispering.
kid. Weird.
I wasn't. Transient vagrant seems fine.
He
All right.
he goes, I'll escort you so that you're safe, but I don't want nothing to do with that radio station.
Tony
All right.
actually kind of
Let me get you like a drink. I open my cart back up and I give him like
Capri Sun.
Yeah, a Capri Sun. And I'll throw in some of that turkey jerky that didn't sell as well as I'd hoped.
Oh, I love turkey jerky. Yeah, he like rips off a piece.
You said the
So,
sisters
He's
were
really
lingering?
angry about that turkey jerky.
The sisters are lingering, and they stand off in the background humming a strange tune. You can just barely hear it. They kind of stand humming in unison.
This town is weird.
Can I go up to them? Or get closer to them?
Of course
Try
you
to make
can.
eye
Yeah,
contact?
totally.
I was gonna say, are they? Because Tony was pretty far back, did not get into the middle of the fight, so are they closer to Tony?
I would say, yeah, if you were near the door, they'd be much closer to you, Tony. And you would hear them just kind of like...
Yeah, all the hairs on the back of her neck are standing up. She is more afraid of them than she is of Ralph.
Yep.
How long have you been there?
Long enough to see it all happen.
See what all happened?
The fight. The old man.
Have you seen Heather?
They both look at you. They're kind of curiously. They say, we don't know a Heather.
She used to wear a red scrunchy cheerleader uniform,
Like all the cheerleaders?
but she had the big red scrunchie. She always wore it on the top of her head.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Have you seen the black van?
The two sisters make eyes at each other and they say, maybe. Around town.
Have you seen the people who are driving it
Adults. Suits.
in suits? Do they
Mom
have a
says to stay
badge?
away from them. That they're here to help us.
From the government?
I don't know.
How does your mom know who they are?
All the adults say they're here to help us.
But they don't know who they are.
We don't.
Okay.
They both kind of look at you, and one of them starts the song up again. Have you heard that song? It plays on the radio.
Yeah.
We like it, they say together. yeah, immediately like,
In unison, too.
yeah.
There
Other
are a
kids
lot of-
like it too.
The missing kids?
We don't know who's missing.
But you know that they are.
I guess. When you go snooping around, you're asking for it. That's why we come here and go home.
But you can't live your whole life just at home.
Yes, we can. Where else are we gonna go?
Well, there's the library.
We have one of
and-
those at home.
Really?
They nod. You can probably tell from the matching members only's jackets and the way that they dress that they're probably wealthy.
Ah. Hence why
That's a
living
sure
their whole
sign
life.
That's a sure sign of money. Members only.
Members only jacket matching members only's jackets. They're
Right.
they're well kept polos. The way that their shirts are tucked in together.
There you
But
go.
do
Yeah.
they have swatches?
You can't tell because they haven't pushed the sleeves up on their members only jackets yet. It's a bit brisk out this evening. But you can rightfully assume yes.
Oh, man.
And she's not talking about fabric swatches, everybody. Look it up.
Look
kids.
at it. Go get them. And the girls say, "Well, I guess there's nothing to do now but go home."
But the rink's not closed yet.
But all the fun left. They look over at the old man who's like munching down on this turkey jerky.
Be safe.
We will. We always take Main Street.
If you see the van, maybe go the other way.
Why? They're here to keep us safe.
They were also talking to the girl who went missing before she went missing.
They both tip their heads like in unison. Okay. The girls just walk off. They just kind of hand in hand begin walking down towards Main Street, which will be the direction that you both go. They don't ride a bike. And as they walk off, a car passes by on the main road. The radio blaring. The same song playing on the radio that the girls were just humming.
Ralph,
Naturally.
you got
Is it a
any,
black van or is this
insight?
a different vehicle?
Different vehicle.
Okay.
Definitely some high schoolers, like definitely kids.
Okay.
This is like what were those called?
A Buick?
No, it was like what was it? Pinto was really popular, right?
Oh, yes.
It's a
Oh,
Pinto. It's a,
Muscle car.
yeah.
We're talking muscle car.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pinto drives by, windows down, blaring this song that's clearly playing on the radio.
This whisper plays in the background.
The old man goes, he goes, "Don't listen to that! Don't listen to that!" He yells, turkey jerky spitting from his mouth.
Hey, Ralph, you're not helping your case right now by yelling after people
Oh.
in cars.
I'm sorry. Just,
Spitting all over him. Huh? I give you food, you spit it on my shirt.
he goes, "Don't listen to the songs."
Well,
I'm too
the
curious.
song?
I listen intently.
kind of listen as the car like zooms past.
What's wrong with the song?
Is it like magic?
Is this a Pied Piper thing?
The crazy man stops and looks at Eugene. Like you're crazy, the crazy one. When you say magics, he goes, I don't know nothing. Nothing about magics. No magics. I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing.
Can I try to figure out if he's telling us the truth?
Sure. How about this? You don't even have to roll for this. He definitely saw something. As his eye like twitches, like I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing. As his eye kind of twitches.
So did he take the extra plaid from me, or did he not?
Yeah, I would say if you're offering it to him, he's a homeless man. He gonna take it.
Okay. So plan B. Oh, it's California. I was gonna say scarf. That doesn't make any sense.
It is a fall like evening, so it is cooler.
Okay.
It's definitely not cold.
I'm
So
gonna
it's
take
74.
half
Right.
gloves. I'm gonna take my half gloves off my hands. They're
Okay.
like leather
Uh-huh.
half gloves. And I'm going to try to charm him into telling us more. And I go, I'm gonna give these nice gloves to keep your hands warm when it gets like 40 degrees out at night.
He kind of snatches it
I
from
wanna
you.
know- No. I want to know exactly what you know about what you saw. Because you pretty obviously saw something and you don't want to talk about it. But if people are going missing,
He goes,
I want to stop this.
We're not saying you did anything, but you could help us figure out what's happening.
kind of like beats his head. He goes,
Yeah, what do you got? Leprechauns, UFOs? Lay it on
He
us.
stops. When you say UFO, he stops and looks at you. He goes, you seen it too?
There we go. He's crazy.
He's seen it too. Come.
I've seen the UFOs. Is that where those men came from?
No.
Are they trying to find out more information about the UFO?
His eye like twitches.
Both of
Nods.
them, or the crazy one? Or yes?
The crazy one. He nods yes to both things. Yes, he's seen a UFO, and yes, the men are here investigating the UFO situation.
Have they talked to the owners of the truck stop?
He looks like he's gonna explode. Maybe.
They like friends of yours. They also talk about UFOs.
I don't. Ralph has no friends. I have no friends.
Well, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because I'm your friend.
We're not gonna get you in trouble. Nobody believes
My
us
doctor said
anyway.
I shouldn't make friends with kids.
I'm
You've known him
17
for
years
5
old. I'm
minutes.
practically an adult. Thank you very much.
He goes,
I almost
I'm a
legally
child.
can drink alcohol.
he's a child. He points at Alex. I could get in a lot of trouble. They said I saw stuff. I don't know what I saw.
Well, why don't you tell us?
It was a big light
Hands
from
one
the
of
sky.
the other leather glove. Come on, you know you want the matching pair.
And he snatches. He goes, "Fine, you won't believe me, no how." He says, "Nobody ever does. It's why I lost everything." And he kind of like shudders a little bit. He's like, "I was there when they saw it. The Hernandezes.
And now you stay by their truck stop?
They fired me.
You used to have a job?
I did. Then they got rid of me, and I swore I would make sure their business failed. We all saw it that night. We was cleaning up, closing up shop, the lights, and the big thing, and it came in, and I saw it. The alien."
What did it look like?
His eye kind of twitches. It was just a silhouette, a shadow. I watched him snatch up a dog, and then he went back up in his flying machine, and he zoomed off.
Is that the only time you've ever seen the UFO?
He again, like, he's like, I don't know
Here.
what I saw. It's not all true. They say I'm crazy, right? Crazy Ralph. I'm just crazy Ralph.
You're
I
not.
give him the once over for substance abuse. Like,
You give him the once over. He smells like some alcohol, but he does not look like your average drug addict. Like, there's no signs of drug usage other than alcohol, which is pretty normal for
doesn't
every
have
adult
an-
in the 80s.
he doesn't have lemon head addiction.
No lemon head addiction. Actually, when you think about the lemon head addiction, off in the distance, you see Lemonhead hopping on his bike, dumping the rest of the box of lemon heads in its mouth for travel purposes, home, and he is like mouth full.
Did you hear that song that was playing when it came down?
Who do you?
I'm talking to Ralph.
No.
Okay, so Axe thinks to himself he's totally lying to us. Okay.
Tony offers him the jerky she bought.
He takes that too. I like all of you. You giving me clothes and food.
You're just fucking bribing this homeless.
I know this homeless man. You guys are like, here, let me give you some more stuff, homeless man. I love it.
Yeah, tell us all about the UFOs and the alien music.
Hey.
I'm like raring to go to the radio station.
He says
You
alien.
said you all saw it. So you and the Hernandezes and who else?
I knew their old gas station was a creepy place. I want to go
Yeah,
there.
the old one. We had to leave it after that because it kept coming back night after night.
Oh, we need a stakeout.
Yeah, let's find out what this thing is. Like a weather balloon, like a kite, drone.
You know, if
bird.
you're gonna be a killjoy and not want to help people, you don't have to come with us.
I gave him food, I gave him a drink free of charge. I'm being super nice.
Oh, I got a quarter.
Keep your quarter.
No,
He
you
doesn't
keep your
need
quarter.
it.
You need it more than I do. Plus, I'm going with him to his weirdo place to like prove to him that there's no such thing as UFOs.
You're gonna eat your words, mister.
Come on, you really think there's gonna be like little gray men raining from the skies?
I think something weird is going on, and you need to pull your head out of your butt and acknowledge it.
I mean, like it's the men in the van, right? Snatching up girls for acting careers.
You don't have to steal people to get them to go acting. That's why people move to LA.
Yeah, you just offer them a fuck ton of money, and they're like, "Yeah, let's go."
Eugene, I swear to freaking God.
Look, we're gonna go there, and we're gonna see, and there's not gonna be any aliens.
Or
I'm
you're
not
gonna eat
I'm
your
not going
freaking
in that
words.
radio station. I'll stand out front, but you can't. No
Whatever.
amount of jerky or flannel is gonna make me go in that radio station.
It's fine.
Well, I'm
we'll go
almost out
in.
of
We'll
flannel
find
for
the
now.
stork or whatever it is, and everything is gonna be alright.
The stork. He goes,
No.
What?
Wait, what did you say, JB? Oh, okay. I thought it was you. Sorry.
I think
I've been muted this whole time.
Oh, okay.
I started to say
Oh, sorry.
I look down at Alex, like, is he nervous about doing this, or is Alex like comfortable because Big Sib is like gung ho about helping him?
Alex is just fucking with a Rubik's Cube, and when he sees you look down, he says, "Do you know that radio towers can cut down bird deaths by 70% if they make the red lights atop them blink instead of being on perpetually?"
Oh, that's why there's so many dead birds.
That's my Sib for you. Okay.
I'm good with whatever.
Does anyone want like a squirt gun in case there's like a wild bobcat or something in there?
Also,
Keep that away from me.
just because they have a van doesn't mean they're taking girls away to have modeling careers. There were these two guys further upstate that were torturing them in the back of their van.
Thanks.
So,
Thanks,
No
Tony.
way,
I
really?
needed to
That's
worry.
awful.
He goes, I don't.
You think that's these guys?
it could be. I mean, well, those guys were already caught, but they could be doing what they did.
Copycat.
Like copycats. I heard of those.
Yeah.
All right, last chance. Anyone want a squirt gun? No.
I'm good.
All right.
So,
All right. Let's head in there. I'm just gonna take this toy axe. That's totally just a toy.
totally not a toy.
2
Okay.
hours later, we finally make it to the radio station.
You guys kind of head back into
7
town.
more children have been abducted.
Breaking news.
It's a strange thing because the few kids that are going home, I would say it's about 9 o'clock-ish by now. You guys have hung around. There's been a fight. It was time to skate and sell things. And it's about 9. It is thoroughly dark. The main strip here in town is well lit. And now that you know what you're looking for, you cannot miss the black van, cargo van, that sits across the street on the opposite side from the hardware store. Ridge Hardware. On top, like I said, it's kind of a very square brick building, second floor. It does have a radio tower. It is, in fact, on red. The light is on as if it is broadcasting. All of you have probably at least once in your young lives tuned into KRDJ. Most of it now is not run by an actual DJ. It's just on loop. It probably plays things from other radio stations in and around the larger areas, but this broadcasts locally. And the van, it is parked out front, lights off. There doesn't seem to be anybody in the front seats, at least from what you can see from this place. And about 20 feet out, the gentleman stops and he says, "This is it, as far as I go."
Ralph, will you be on the lookout if we somehow try to signal to you and, like, come running? I know you're an old man, so don't hurt yourself, but please help.
Wow.
Yeah, I got like a horn in here somewhere. You can just like, blow on this.
I'll take it.
A horn? Okay. Is it like a kazoo? I imagine it's a kazoo.
It's like something like that.
Little one of those toy horns that you, like, it plays one really shrieky note, and that's it.
Perfect. Okay, so now that we are going to separate from him, he does say that he will stand on the, he will stand out front and kind of watch around, doing what he does best, which is being homeless. He's just going to look like a homeless guy.
We're gonna peek in the van.
I was just gonna ask about that. Are the doors locked?
To
Because
the
back
hardware
then all they
store?
had are the little pink.
So the hardware store is definitely locked. There's
a van.
Oh, the van. You walk up to the van and, like, try the front door.
Mm-hmm.
It is locked.
Can we look inside?
Yeah, can I see anything from the...
Yeah, you can appear in the front. It's a pretty standard cargo van. The front seats have had some activity in it. There are some fast food type, like, crumpled up pieces of paper, some trash from getting chips and stakeout type stuff, from what you can tell, old coffee cups, which assure you that they're adults. And the back, though, the, like, little space between the two seats that leads to the back of the van is too far and far too dark for you to be able to see into it.
And if I grab out my flashlight?
And you shine it back there?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Is that what you would like to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Steph thinks this is a horrible idea. I want that for the record. Tony
Okay.
would totally do this with reckless, rebellious abandon.
Right, okay.
I was gonna say, I'm just ready to, like, bust
Bust
out
it.
the driver's side window and unlock the door.
Hey, if you want to bust it out, you are welcome to
I'm
make
gonna
that
surely
check.
try.
This is a proper brawn check because you're not fighting somebody. And we'll see if you have enough to break the window.
Like it's happened very often, Alex covers their face.
Yeah, oh,
Whenever
cute.
X starts to do something that Alex
Tony's
didn't
just like
see.
looking into
Plausible
the windshield.
Hey, you did it! You totally did it. You elbow it in. You only needed a 3, and
That seems excessive.
you pop this window
Here,
open.
why don't you just go in, Tony?
Oh.
Click.
Okay.
You open it up.
Looking up and down the street to make sure there's not a cop, there's not another adult.
Your
I
homeless
am an
friend is
adult.
taking stake. It doesn't look like there's anybody right now, other than a few kids about their business.
Okay.
One of them has a Walkman on their head as they skateboard down the road, and they sing the tune, the same one the sisters sang. This place, this vehicle currently is empty, except for the massive amounts of bulky computers and what seems to be some kind of equipment in the back.
They use computers. They use that for like picture editing, for the modeling.
Or it's the FBI, like I said an hour ago.
Have I
At
read
least from
that
all the
any-
fast food, like the people food, we can see that they're not aliens. They're just
You don't know that.
Oh god, they're the men in black.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead because I see where this is going. I'm gonna go ahead and pass out your powers, your psychic powers, thanks to Ralph.
Okay.
because he is a homeless man, I'm going to give this one to Ricky. This is all too appropriate. Ricky, you control the power for him to be able to go invisible. Let's say, Eugene, you're going to control the ability to know an object's history by touch. X, you're going to control the ability to lift much more than normal.
Oh, yeah.
Tony, you're going to get, I'm going to actually give Tony the ability to create false memories.
Ooh.
And, Alex, you're gonna get, I don't like that one so much. Let's do able to hypnotize with their gaze. So each of you have that. With this character, you have what are known as, for this game, 5 tokens. Every time you use one of the psychic tokens, it goes away.
There's 5 in total.
5 in
Yes?
total. 5 in total. It's like a pool that you can pull from at any point if you want him to use an ability. Now, the ability you have is the one that you control, which means you give narrative about how that power is used. Anybody at the table can suggest for you to use that power. So, for example, if we wanted him to turn invisible and Tony thought it was a good idea, you can suggest that to Craig, and then Craig narrates how that character turns invisible. And then we use a token to make that happen. You can gain additional psychic tokens throughout the game, just like you can gain adversity tokens. So, there you go. Each of you have your power as we move into the latter half of this game. He does stand on the corner trying to, like, not make eye contact. He sees you guys, like, break the window. He tries to turn his head away, knowing that that's very much illegal. And, yeah. Looks like right now, because the car is powered down, none of the computers really seem to be on. You see monitors, Tony, that are far more advanced than anything you've ever seen, especially at your school or the local library. Keyboards, strange, there's like a set of headphones, big headphones, as if they were listening in to something. This seems to be, as a proper conspiracy theorist would know, this is their watch vehicle. They've been driving around this town listening and watching all of you.
Okay.
We can tell that it's surveillance equipment.
I would say Tony can tell it's surveillance equipment, because Tony's a conspiracy theorist that probably has read magazines with this kind of stuff in it. But the rest of you would know this is still very high-tech technology. Like, anybody that looks in here, that this is not something you're going to get anywhere in this area. The local police don't even have this kind of stuff.
So it's not a Radio Shack.
This is not a, yeah.
That thing's got like 256K of RAM.
Yeah.
High tech.
High tech. With the green screen and everything. Are there any insignias or notes in the van? Because I've already gone in. Like, assume I'm in the van.
You're kind of peeking around. There's not anything that gives that much away. There are some files and things.
Like file folders? Like paper files?
Do they have a government logo on them? Or any
They say
kind
top secret.
Oh, open them.
Okay, but I'm going to be a butthead. Usually when is it just like the standard, like, red top secret, or is there a government eagle with the branch name on it, top secret?
There is no government branch on it. There's no seal. No governmental seal. It just is, like, stamped top secret.
Okay, yeah, she's looking through them.
You begin kind of flipping through. A lot of this is way over your head. You can make a brain check to see if you can make anything out of all this.
I'm going to try. I'm going to apologize if you hear a kitty in the background. She woke
Never
up from a
apologize
nap.
for kitties.
Yeah, kitties deserve to be who they want to be. Okay.
8.
At an 8.
My brains are booping me on the snoot.
That's actually still pretty good. It's
Okay.
interesting, actually, in this game. An 8, I believe, is actually considered more than a basic success. This would be a task where success is certain for characters who are very skilled in it. So you are very skilled in being a brainiac, and you kind of begin flipping through. A lot of the jargon is way above your knowledge.
At 15.
At 15, and more importantly, they've taken black markers and lined through a lot of things. Because they left a top secret file out in this locked van.
Yeah.
Probably because they didn't think anybody in this town would be smart enough to even do this or notice them. But they seem to be investigating a few things. They have, in fact, investigated the old rundown gas station. They've investigated the new gas station. They have a series of transcripts in here where they have interviewed the two owners, the Hernandez. They have also very much interviewed your friend out front, the homeless guy. They didn't get a whole lot from that, and you can read some of the transcripts. They all claim to have seen a UFO, and they claim to have seen it a couple times.
Bribing him with plaid was the way to go, fam, to get him for
Right?
They are also investigating. They have files on each of the missing children over the last 10 years, which are quite a few.
Yeah.
And they also have a file on the radio station. And you realize that, you're reading through it, and you see that they have been investigating the radio station across the street, and the radio in the car clicks on. And it begins playing that tune from across the street on the radio.
Tony's gonna put that stuff down, plug her ears, and just start going da 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 as she climbs out of the van and closes it behind her.
Reach in and try to just hit the power button.
You do. You pop the power button. First off, the car's not turned on. This should not have turned on by itself. You hit the power button and it goes down.
I was gonna ask Tony if she wanted me to try to hotwire the car, but nope. I'm noping way out of the car now.
Let me give you a hand here real quick, and I wipe her fingerprint off the power button.
Nice. Yeah. Wipe down a few places.
Does anybody have a rock?
I mean, we're on a street.
Yeah, can we find a rock or a bottle, something that it looks like it was thrown through the window so it looks like an accident?
Oh, yeah. You mean, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Eugene might have a couple bottles, but you might also know your homeless friends would easily know where to find a broken bottle or something like that.
Hey, Ralph, you got a rock in your pocket?
He's just happy to see us.
Yeah, he has a moment where he has to think about that, and then your children, and then he's like,
I literally mean a rock, Ralph.
no, but I got this, and he kind of holds up a small bottle of some kind of dark alcohol that's almost empty.
Well, you take that last swig, or give it to me.
He
and
swigs the last swig.
Damn.
Can we have the bottle, please?
Yeah.
He passes it over.
Thank you.
Tony chucks it into the window.
And
if it breaks, it breaks.
if it doesn't,
It's
it doesn't.
just- Yeah.
Yeah, you toss
Set
it in,
dressing.
no problem. It doesn't really break. But
Okay.
it does land in the seat and makes it look, kind of finishes out the whole image.
That's got your fingerprints on it now, right?
No, because I got gloves, and he shows the fingerless gloves.
Yeah, he's fine. Ish. I mean you, Tony. Here, thank you.
You know what?
Ricky, you've been real quiet. What have you been up to?
He's watching everywhere else
Uh-huh.
because they're talking loud and asking Ralph for rocks and throwing stuff through windows and turning radios on. And it's only a matter of time before somebody driving down the main drag is going to take a look, or there's going to be somebody in that freaking radio station that's going to pop their head in the window. He's been watching everything that's going on. He kind of disappeared around, like nobody noticed him leave.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of disappeared around like the backside of the van so that he's not so visible through the street, but kind of keeping an eye on him.
You've been keeping an eye on that radio station. I imagine that it's definitely got this kind of like arched windows. The building is brick. Very much popular of Old Town, and I wouldn't say the lights are on, but you can tell inside the radio station that the console is. That everything seems to be functioning and working, so it creates enough like ambient light in there of blues and greens and reds, and you're pretty sure you saw somebody move about. Just
now
a
he's
silhouette.
going to go check that out.
Yeah.
He's going to go look in the window.
Okay.
You're not gonna say anything to the rest.
The only way you're gonna get to do that is because it is on the second floor. There is a fire escape out the back, as most of this kind of rickety fire escape, and you could slip up there and take a peek. I am gonna make you roll a flight check for just a stealth to see if anybody does see you leave.
Sure. That's a 5.
Okay.
Well, actually, I've got a +1 in there. What does that mean? Is that a? what do
If
we
you have a
plus on the
+1,
dice?
it's a 6.
six.
So, and what are your flaws?
My what?
Yeah, do you have any flaws checked for Ricky?
Flaws?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the rules that we got skipped over flaws.
Oh,
so she
did
told
they?
us that
Oh,
we could
okay,
just
perfect.
Check them if
Yeah,
we want.
check them if you want it. If not, don't worry about it. I'm gonna actually, because you're the loner weirdo and you are well known for slipping into the background. This is your MO, so I'm gonna add another +1 to that. So you grab. Yeah, I gave you guys the quick start rules. So you rolled a 7. They're throwing bottles through windows, making a bunch of noise. This is the perfect distraction. You slip away up the fire escape, which is pretty easy to do, and you peer in a back window. You're looking at the back room of the radio station, mostly dusty and dingy at this point. The console is in fact on. You actually look through a back room that shares a glass window into the radio station proper. And you don't, when you see like that feature move and you run, there is nobody there that you can see from here. The console flashes, and there's an interesting gadget. Doesn't look like anything you've ever seen before. Attached to the console itself. It seems to be wired in. Things are kind of plugged into it, and it's feeding right into the broadcasting technology.
I'm gonna wait briefly to see if anybody else comes walking by or if there's any other motion.
You wait a bit. It seems empty from what you can tell. Even more interesting, the door that clearly goes probably down an internal staircase into the hardware store below is very much locked and boarded up. The back door of the fire escape has no like direct exit. It's one of those like push from the inside, which means nobody entered this way. If there was somebody up here, they didn't take a door.
So I can't get in from here.
You could break a window and pop in. Or try to open it.
That's a terrible idea. Let's
Do it.
Let's do it! I love it.
I'm gonna show my knowing too much stuff. You could probably slip something thin in between the
yeah.
panes and unlock it, and then just
Sure.
push it up.
So, if you want to slide the window, it's brawn. If you want to break the window, it's brawn.
Pretty much anything with the window, it's brawn.
It's gonna be brawn. If you want to try to jimmy something into the lock or like try to pop the fire escape open with, say, I don't know, a baseball card or whatever you've got on you, that would be more of a brains check.
Yeah, let's go with the brawn.
That's what I thought.
Ricky's not the smartest tool in the shed. She's not the sharpest. That's an 8.
Nicely done. How do you open the window?
I think it's going to be like the window is it's a double hung window with a latch on the inside, but somebody didn't close the latch all the way, so there was just a little bit of the metal lip, and so I just crank on that, and that little edge of the lip bends and
Nice. Yeah.
it pops open.
Slides up. You catch it just before it hits that thud. It's probably been paint sealed as well over time and those kind of things, and you're able to slip in. You actually step onto a desk to actually get in this window. Everything here is covered in dust. It's not been touched in years, Ricky. So that's very, very clear to you. And you can step down, and there is another door that goes from the office into the radio station proper.
Sweet, I'm leaving footprints. In my cheap Sears shoes. Okay.
You and
I'm
every
gonna
other kid in this town.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look at that that weird piece of technology that's plugged into the.
You kind of creep in to this. You eke the door open. Again, the door that goes down to the hardware store is boarded shut. And you notice that this area is a little less dusty. You don't know if that's just from use or, the radio station does play. Somebody's got to work here, right? You walk up to the box. It is attached to, sitting on top of the main console, which has, of course, little things to run up and down to adjust music. There's an old mic that hangs. It's been pushed off to the side, not used by somebody in a while. The swivel chair that clearly the DJ once sat in, it's pushed far off to the side. And this box is about the size of an average shoebox. It is made of some kind of very shiny metal, not like anything you've ever seen before. I'm guessing since Ricky makes his own nunchucks that he also is a bit of a weapons fanatic, possibly.
He likes ninja movies.
He likes ninja movies. Okay, so you've at least seen a katana or two and
Sure.
some ninja swords. This is not like any metal that you've ever seen. It's extremely shiny and has this bluish gunmetal hue to it, and it is very well made. There's no seams, no welding seams, nothing, and it sits on this the console and seems to have things plugged in via the top. Wires have been ripped out from underneath and are feeding, and the box looks to feed directly into I don't know how much Ricky knows about broadcasting, but basically what would be broadcasted out via the satellite on top of the building. So it's playing through the console into this box and back out. And based on this small little screen on the front, which unlike most everything in the 80s is very clean text. It's like an LED screen, which wasn't really even heard of at the time. It seems to be showing the music bars, the sound bars, showing you that something is actively playing on the radio.
I'm going to unplug it.
All right. Okay. You're just gonna start ripping
All by
stuff
myself.
off? Yeah, you're gonna start ripping stuff off? Okay, cool. I love it.
Yeah, we don't want to try to sneak everybody up here. That's a fool's errand. I'm going to take this out to show everybody.
Oh, great. You want to take the box with you?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. You rip the wires free. It's not very difficult. They are, in fact, attached. And the box weighs a little bit. It's a solid, 7 or 8 pound box of a heap of metal and junk. You rip everything clean, and when you do, once you are no longer playing the sound through the box and out broadcast, it starts playing in the room.
Oh, nice.
Openly in the room. And that same song you heard the sisters playing now plays on loop and is outwardly playing in this room.
Okay, well, I subconsciously don't realize I'm doing it. I just kind of start humming the tune, and I head back out. I take the thing with me.
Yep, and it just kind of sticks in your head a little bit. That's all. It's that song on repeat, trying to get it out of there. But that's all.
Earworm.
Earworm. There you go. And you bring the box back to the group just in time for all of them to finish their shenanigans. And you see them toss the bottle in the window, cleaning up their any sign that they were here.
No one will ever suspect.
Hey, it's
Where's
not
that
like my
noise coming from?
fingerprints are on file.
That's a good point.
Ricky, what
They
did
will
you...
be now. Mine are, though.
Yeah, mine too.
Ricky, what did you do?
What's the
So this-
thing? Did you always have that? Did he always have that?
So this was plugged into the radio stuff
Wait, you did what?
inside.
Alex covers his eyes.
I haven't uncovered them this whole time.
It's Ralph actually that comes over and he goes, "Wait a second, kid, where'd you get that?"
In the radio, in the DJ booth.
He kind of with a distant finger taps the metal to make sure it's real. He goes, "I've seen that before, but not this box. This is like the metal of the ship." And he points to the sky, referencing the UFO.
Alex, you're a big nerd. You got any info on this weird thing? Is it from Japan?
What thing?
No.
Uncover your eyes
Can
for
you-
2
can you
seconds.
just,
We need your intelligence.
It's not that
If I
spooky.
uncover my eyes,
Just a
then
box.
I can tattle on you, and you'll beat me up, and things will always get.
I
progressively-
won't beat you up. I'll bribe you with I'll get you a new Rubik's Cube, a bigger one.
All you
That's not how
gotta
that
do is
works.
look at this box.
And I slowly.
Yeah, you bring your eyes down.
And when you bring your eyes down, the box is right in front of your face.
It is a metal box. You're welcome to roll a brain to see if you can tell anything about it, Alex.
Sure. I'll give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
Can I help him?
Sure, you guys are welcome.
doing this.
Usually, I would say yeah. I'll either let Alex take a +1 for you guys combining your efforts, or you can both just roll.
What do you want to do, JB?
I just had the one.
Okay, do it.
You roll.
Oh!
Hey!
You guys
Nice.
begin
Yeah, I have one of
pontificating.
these.
First off, Alex, you've never seen a medal like this before. It's not like any compound or anything that you've read about in the past. It doesn't smell like anything you've seen before. And the things like the LED screen that's set into it and the wires and cables that come out of it, this is not anything you're going to find at Radio Shack. This is high-tech technology. This is like potentially even more than military grade technology. This is otherworldly, possibly.
That's from Japan, right?
I kind of take a deep breath and close my eyes. And I say, no. No, it's not from Japan.
It's
and
alien, isn't it?
I like show that there's no, logo, no stickers or anything like that on it. And I say,
Yeah,
I know 2 things for certain. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. And this should not be here.
Right. So what is it?
It seems to be some type of non-terrestrial. I'm trying to phrase it so I don't say alien. Non-terrestrial metal made into some type of amplification matrix that they're putting sound through and broadcasting to the city.
Alex,
I don't know, man.
Alex, how old are you?
I am 8.
You've got a heck of a vocabulary.
I love
Thank
it.
you. I try.
You should be a writer.
Yeah.
This song is getting a little annoying. Like, no offense to whoever made this thing, but like we've been hearing this thing a lot. Like, you mind if I fiddle with the dials and try to change the station? Maybe get some rock.
Maybe we should get away from the van because I've found some stuff in there too that I should.
Maybe we should wait for the person in the van.
Let's just. Should we put the thing in the van?
The
No, I don't think we should touch the van anymore.
Ralph, as you say, maybe we should just wait for whoever was in the van. He says, sometimes your wishes come true. And he kind of points down the street, and 2 suits are walking towards you. They wear
There we go.
sunglasses at night. They wear these big, thick ties of the 80s. White shirt, black. They're walking straight towards all of you. One of them leans over to the other as if they see all of you.
Hide!
Ricky, toss the box. Let's go.
And Ralph goes, I'll distract him. Go, run.
Come on! Back towards the library. Let's go!
Ew, I'm not a nerd.
And Ricky,
X!
Ralph, not Ricky. Ralph starts that crazy man shenanigans as he starts running down the road towards the 2 suits.
Can I, unless anybody objects, use one of Ralph's tokens to create a false memory for them?
For him to create a false memory for them?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
What
they
false
didn't
memory?
say shit. There were no children.
Yeah, okay.
Just a
Around
crazy
the
old
van.
man.
Okay, you see them you see them both grab Ricky by the arms, and put him. Ralph, I'm sorry, I'm staring at Ricky on the screen. They grab Ralph by the arms and tuck his hands behind his back, and they kind of push him against the wall and begin questioning him. We can definitely take one of the tokens, so you guys are down to 4, and he's like chatting with them and does manage to convince them that there were no kids, that all of this was on him. The breaking of the window, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, I don't want my only friend Ralph to take the fall for my.
Where
crime.
are all of you headed?
The library, apparently.
Okay.
Does Ricky toss the box?
No.
Dang it.
I'm muttering, like, as I'm skating along, because I never took them off. I'm muttering about the Gian bottleneck and, like, Actually, if it weren't terrestrial, then why would they have the same exact eyes and use the same type of screens that we would? There is a scientific explanation that this could be from the future, or perhaps some type of experiment.
I imagine you guys are like riding as fast as you can towards the library on your bikes, and Alex is just.
I don't have my skateboard. It was inside of my locker. I never went and got it.
No.
Run, sibling.
So I'm just running.
Or some bikes have spokes on them, the back where you can like stand, you know. So like, there's enough wheels around that you guys are getting there.
You can
Maybe
sit on the
I'm
box.
sitting in the basket on the front of
You sit on the bike, and the person who's riding it and pedaling it doesn't sit.
Doesn't sit. That's true too.
Just is on the pedals.
Yep.
Tony's got it.
I was about to say, I've sit on my fair share of handlebars before in the middle. And you guys managed to ride yourself away from the scene down towards the library. Now, you would know it is not a 24-hour library. It's far too small of a town for that. But the woman who runs the library is quite a character. She's known as a bit of a spinster in town. She's not only the history teacher at your high school, so you do know her name is Myrna Goldman, Miss Goldman. She's also the local librarian after hours. It's only about 10 o'clock, so she would probably still be there, though the doors say closed. There are lights on in the library.
All right, a librarian knows a lot of stuff. No offense to our 8-year-old friend here, but let's find out what this thing is actually, right?
Yeah, I feel like Tony and the librarian are friends.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. You probably come by quite frequently. She would also know you from history class and so forth and so on.
Yeah. Tony is knocking on the door.
Okay. You
trying
hear,
to get her
it takes
attention.
about 5 minutes, but there's a click that finally opens up this tiny little library, just a simple brick building, probably connected to your city hall in actuality. Clicks open, and there stands Myrna Goldman. She's relatively young. She cannot be more than 35, and she is very attractive, kind of bookwormish, dark hair in a bun, really thick glasses, bottle thick, but very, very cute. And she goes, "Oh, Tony," and she kind of looks around at all of you. She says, "It's late. You know I can't rent books this late."
I know, we just need to come inside for a few minutes. We found something weird. We're trying to figure out what it is.
We're being accosted by government agents.
They're not with the government.
We can't disprove that.
Her brow furrows. She says, "Shh, come inside. Do your parents know where you are?"
Yes.
No.
Sure.
Think so?
Come
Not for the
inside.
last, couple of months.
She kind of looks around and closes the door behind you and
Not since
locks
the
it.
war.
Since Nam.
Since Nam. And she gestures for you to have a seat at one of 3 tables in this very quaint library. Again, I pictured this like the library in my town, which had like 12 shelves. Each one's a different section, and that's it. She goes behind her very quaint little librarian's desk, and finishes. She's clearly like finishing up for the night, like stamping books in, slotting them on one of those carts where you can roll them around. And she says, I don't know what's going on, and I definitely don't know what that is. And she points to the box in Ricky's hand. She says, "But it is your fall break, and I don't want you to spend it in detention," or she's like, "I don't want you to spend it grounded, so I'm not going to call your parents, but I deserve an explanation."
Look, people are disappearing. We are like this close to maybe figuring out what it is.
Yeah? When did that happen?
There were these guys in a van that keeps parking along Main Street. I've seen it like 4 or 5 times. And
She says, they're part of the local watch that was hired by the
they were
neighborhood
talking
association.
to the cheerleader before she went missing.
How do
they
you
were
know
the-
that, Tony?
Well, first off, we partnered with a homeless vagrant and traveled across.
Stop.
Her brow kind of furrows. She says, "Well,
I'm trying to remember her friend's name. It started with a C.
Celia.
Celia. Thank you.
Ooh, good memory.
Heather number 2.
I was gonna say Chloe. I'm like, that's not it.
no, the other one's called Chloe. That seems all
Chloe.
too appropriate."
Yeah.
Celia had mentioned that Heather was dating an older guy, I was meeting him behind the radio station, and we were talking to Ralph, and he had mentioned seeing her talking to the guys from the van who have folders about Ralph and the Hernandezes and the radio station and all kinds of crazy surveillance equipment. And I know how this sounds.
She says,
But
Tony,
I
have
promise it's true.
I've talked a lot about these books that you read. They put ideas in your head that are just not true.
This is true.
Listen,
The radio turned on by itself.
Well,
yes.
Tony, you know that you have full access to our encyclopedia collection. She references those giant brown encyclopedias that everybody in the 80s had because we didn't have Wikipedia. Thank you, World Book. Thank you,
World
Craig.
Books for the win.
Yep, thank you. She says, if you would like to do some more reading to try to prove your theories, that's fine. But I have a meeting I'm in at the moment in the back, and I must get back to it. She references, like, there's probably, like, a conference room or some kind of, like, general gathering place with a giant table where the Booster Club meets and the PTA meets and those kind of things.
Is this the AA meeting?
follow her.
You tell my mom I say hi.
No, Eugene, this is a different kind of meeting. The local watch.
Well, my mom will be there too, so same difference.
And you said the watch were the guys in the van?
No. The local watch, we hired them to help. She kind of smiles. We want to keep all the children of the town safe and protected.
But like, who are they exactly? Because they did put like Ralph in like handcuffs, and like I don't know if private investigators
They
get to
arrest the
carry
homeless man?
handcuffs. Yeah, that was weird.
They did push him around some.
Well, at
Are
least
they allowed to do that?
Yes, he's homeless.
Yeah, but I mean,
So?
arrest him.
Whoa.
He has
Whoa.
rights just like we do.
Whoa.
This
Just
may be
because you don't have a roof over your head because you've seen some stuff does not mean that he is any less of a citizen of this city that you should also be trying to protect instead of running into a wall.
She
What a
goes-
firm standing for a teenager.
Yeah, she says,
I'm
yeah, right.
almost an adult.
She smiles at you and nods, and she says,
You know she's a
"This
librarian, right?"
May be true, but Ralph has spread a fair share of rumors, has caused disruption and fear in the town, and more importantly, he doesn't pay his taxes.
He has no job. He doesn't have a house. What is he paying taxes on?
The Hernandezes fired him because he was there when they saw the UFO.
Good.
So they are
Nonsense
allowed to
anyways.
continue
Can I
to
punch
own a
her?
business, but he gets punished because they fired him?
She goes, Tony, I don't have answers. I am not the Hernandezes.
I'm just trying to point out how hypocritical what you're saying is.
She says, look, if you'd like to take it up with, say, the local watch, she gestures to a room. You see there's like a thin plexiglass window that shows a bunch of adults around a table. The principal is there. The mayor is also in the room, along with a few other adults. You're pretty sure that the twins, that's their mother. They look just like her.
I've already stormed off in that direction of the conference room.
I'm gonna fiddle with the box because I'm getting real sick of that song.
Tony's heading.
Oh, she
for
goes,
the
you mean the one on the radio? I love that song. And she begins humming it.
It's everywhere, and I've just heard it enough.
It's
all right?
just so good. I don't even know who the artist is.
Tony's going for the encyclopedias.
Okay.
Pointedly not going towards the adults.
Yep.
I mean, I was going to sneak close enough to hear what they were talking about, so now I'm just going to storm in the room because I've been invited.
Okay. You
She's
crack.
not going towards the Stepford adults.
Okay. You crack the door open, stepping in. The table of adults very quickly stop their conversation. The mayor stands, kind of rotund gentleman. Shouldn't you be in bed?
First off, I'm 17 years old. My parents work in a factory because we can't afford to live in this town, let alone anywhere else, so they do what they have to.
Is this why you came here? To tell me these
No.
things?
I think your watch is a sham.
The
Rolex.
few of the adults, yeah, his Rolex. A few of the adults like push their chairs back. He goes, "We're trying to keep this town safe. The children
Well, then
have
why
gone
are there
missing."
disappearances still happening and people abusing other people in the town?
What do you mean abusing other people?
How about the vagrant who was pushed up against the wall before we came to the library?
Well, sounds to me like you might have been doing something illegal.
sounds to me like you don't like him because he probably has information about what you guys are actually doing here.
He goes, we're actually trying to decide the best means of setting up a force here in town to watch the streets, so that your friends
Isn't
no
that what a
longer go
police-
missing.
Isn't that what a police force is for?
He goes, our police force is only so strong, and the local taxes only pay for them to work so many hours in a week. There are only 5 of them.
Is there a police force representative in the group?
There is. There's a
Detective?
police officer here. He's not
Can I
in his
try to
uniform
read
or
them?
anything, but, mustache.
Probably has a cup of coffee and a
Yeah,
donut.
yeah, why not just write up that stereotype, Chelsea? And he says, we're doing the best we can. And if, for some reason, our privately hired friends, obviously referencing whoever it is out front, have arrested Ralph, it was for good reason. You're telling
been
me he
trying
did
to
nothing
run him out of-
illegal?
He took the fall for something I did.
Oh, and why would a homeless man take the fall for something you did?
Maybe because you could get him to work with you if you bribed him with flannel and turkey.
We have
turkey
questioned
jerky.
him many times. He's of no help. He swears that he saw something. Him and those Hernandezes. And the table's like, oh yeah, the
And
Hernandezes.
he is being unjustly punished. He could be a thriving citizen in this city if only, or this town, if only we gave him a job and a means to have a roof over his head. And not dismissed as a crazy person.
In this room is also your boss, the lady who runs the concessions at the local rank. And she looks at X and she says, I was wondering where you went tonight. She's like, if you're so concerned about Ralph having a job, maybe we should give him yours.
Maybe I will. Not like I work anyway.
Clearly. And the mayor simply says, if this is done, we have things that we need to be doing.
If you're... See, I don't believe a word you say. Why are you having a secret meeting if this is what you want to do? Why don't you involve the town in your bolstering of the police force?
He says, well, if you showed up to our town hall meetings, you would know that we were an elected committee.
How loud are they being?
Oh,
Just
I'm
for-
obnoxious.
Oh, it's very open. I don't think that X probably closed the door at all.
Oh, I probably slammed it open.
Hearing all
Okay.
of this, your librarian friend, she is, Miss Goldman, she hears all of this and you see her, like, her brow furrows, her head drop, and she puts a hand on your shoulder, Tony, and she says, look, I don't know what all of you are on about, or what you think that you have found. We are meeting tonight because the disappearance of Heather was... She takes a sigh, and she kind of draws you all in close, and she says, we were working with Heather. We believed her an ideal target for whoever it was in town. We hired...
Bait? Wow.
She looks at him, and she says, we were, in fact, working with her to try to draw out whoever it was.
So is that why she was talking to the dudes in the suits?
Yes. Unfortunately, even though we had our plan perfect, she did not come back. I can still hear her singing that song.
Are they lying?
Who? The
I've been sitting
librarian?
here quietly listening to all of this. Are they lying? Is she lying? She sounds like she's lying.
Interesting. What about it makes it sound like she's lying? Because I can tell you what she's telling the truth on and what she's not telling the truth on.
It sounds like making a child bait and a perfect plan to do something.
So the perfect plan part is probably a super lie. If they had the perfect plan, they would never have lost sight of that girl and she would never have disappeared. She does seem to be telling the truth on the fact that they made the mistake of using a child as bait. It's well known, and it's been, if you've been listening to your parents and people in town talk, they were elected via committee, but they are basically on a witch hunt. These people go knocking door to door sometimes. They're not necessarily, they just want to accuse somebody of doing it. They need to give the people of this town who have missing children closure.
They need
And
a scapegoat.
yeah, they need a scapegoat and they need one bad. And so they made a bold and brash decision to use the most popular girl, somebody that was... You guys would know Heather is probably not like the Heather in the movie. She's actually pretty nice. She volunteered for everything. You know, she would go into the city and work charity. Like, she was a good kid and probably wanted to help. And they got her into something that they were unexpected and she disappeared. So yes, there's some truth to it. Does it make it right? No. But she's definitely lying about having the plan together.
So you guys arranged for Heather to get taken and screwed up. And now are just blaming random people?
We have not blamed anyone. We are trying to run an investigation. And she's kind of getting flustered because she knows that, like, they are wrong and adults don't like to be told that they are wrong.
By
children that
teenager,
they are wrong. They firmly believe that what they did was the right thing. And she says, but we clearly made some mistakes. The last time we saw...
So what about this weird song that's going on?
What weird song?
You were just humming it. It's coming out of that box thing.
I'm working on it.
The radio in the van after the window was broken just popped on by itself, and it's been playing that song. And we heard it from another car going by, and unless the radio station is playing that song on loop, we shouldn't have heard it 4 times in the span of like an hour.
She adjusts her massive shoulder pads a little bit, having worn them all day, and she simply says, Tony, you know that your imagination can get the best of you. It is just a popular tune. Things that you children listen to. I find the synth rather welcoming.
So, okay, so you're just ignoring me. Great.
Thank
you for not being helpful.
She goes, Tony, that's not what I mean. And then you hear them kind of say to X, if you're done, we'd like to move on with our meeting.
If you've got nothing to hide and you really want to help us, why don't you let me sit in on the meeting? I'll be quiet.
He goes, if you feel the need. And Tony, the librarian, Miss Goldman, she looks at all of you and she says, they'll never finish the meeting with all of you here. She leans down into Tony's ear and she whispers, if you would like to. The last place that we saw Heather was at the cemetery.
Okay.
And the Miss Goldman like re-straightens herself and puts on her persona again, and she looks at all of you and she says, you really should choose your friends more carefully. Hanging out with slackers, she looks at X, and homeless men. Really, Tony? And she kind of turns and walks off towards the room, pushing past you, X, and she says, X, Tony was asking to see you, weren't you, Tony?
Yeah. I've got a better idea, X.
I don't trust these adults. My
Do you
adult
trust
senses
me?
are tingling.
My adult senses are tingling. And the door is closed behind you. As you see, they continue their meeting. They lay a map of the town out. They put some like pins on it, clearly marking a few things. And you're left in the quiet of the library with just the mutter of adult voices behind a conference room door.
What if all of them are aliens?
Will you come
One of
over
them is my
here?
mom, so...
I've already walked
true, your
towards
mom's
you
there.
and probably started towards the door.
One of Tony's moms is there.
Eugene's mom's there.
Oh, Regine's mom. Okay. I was like, wait,
Eugene,
what?
are you trying to avoid your mother's eyesight?
Not particularly.
Okay.
It's just there's no real contact there. It's just like, okay, you do you, and I'll do me, and that'll
Okay.
be family life.
Great. And it was very much that, like, she looks up, you see her look at you through the door.
Let me give her like a nod, like, hey.
She nods. And goes back to what she's doing. Why they elected your mother, I don't know, but she's here.
I don't want to be an adult. I've decided I don't want to be an adult.
Well, you don't want to be a stupid adult. But come over here.
I'm right next to
Have
you,
I had
Cody.
any
Come
luck
close.
with this device?
Okay. So,
Yeah, so did you roll, what are you trying to do with the device, Eugene? Help me out again.
I want to change the song. I'm assuming this is just a radio, and if I fiddle with it, it'll play rock music instead.
Got it. Roll. How about this? If you're just gonna fiddle with it, roll a brain as you just kind of fiddle with it, turning knobs and trying to get it to do something. Okay. No music comes out of it. You turn all the knobs like every radio you've ever seen. You even like tap the glass. Nothing's being fed into it anymore. Instead, there is a light, like a very small circular light that starts boop, boop, boop.
Well, I made a light go on.
Boop.
We're smashing that thing when we get back outside, by the way.
Okay.
Please
so
do. I hand it over to X.
Good luck with that.
Miss Goldman said that Heather was working with them to try and figure out what's going on. And that's why she was with the guys in the suits.
Mm-hmm.
The last place they saw her was the cemetery. I'm not going to ask any of you guys to go with me, but I'm going there.
Not alone, you aren't.
Okay. Should we take Alex home?
It's not like
you
her
got any
parents are
facts
home
about
anyway.
cemeteries?
Alex is just like, what?
I
I do think
imagine
it's
they
past
were
his
reading
bedtime.
in the corner while all this is going on because we're in the library.
They're 100% the tag-along type, kind of like I was in, grade school.
You just be
like,
there.
Yeah, I'm just behind the trash can, like, hanging out. Like, this is all very complicated, and all of you are so heated.
Yes, because I refuse to be one of those stupid adults.
It's
Please
good to
put
see
me in
you-
my place.
It's
If I
good to
like
see you
them.
change so much over the course of 1 hour and 41 minutes.
Ricky, are you coming?
Where'd he get off to now?
Where'd he go?
Yeah.
We're going to the cemetery.
Yeah.
Mm,
With all the dead people and the empty graves for all the people that went missing?
There are no empty graves. That's a safety hazard. And they're
I
just
don't mean
rotting.
open. I mean just like someone vanished and they had a funeral, but there's no body in there because no one actually died.
Oh.
So that's another thing that you would all know. They've never found a body of a missing child.
Aliens, they've been abducted. I'm convinced. I've been hanging out with Tony for too long.
Did you know traditionally headstones faced east?
I
Why?
didn't know that.
That's my sib.
And off all of you go. Everybody's in agreement. We're going to the cemetery for time's sake.
okay. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, let's go. You guys exit back out the front door of the library. It's
fine.
about 10:30, 10:45. We're getting real close to that witching hour. It's going to take you about 20 minutes to pedal out to the cemetery.
Tony's trying to avoid if one of her moms is looking out the window because I imagine
Yep.
having to pass the house.
Yeah, you guys will have to like exit through some of the residential. You also could potentially, excuse me, swing by Skateland and grab the skateboard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And off you all head.
Constant vigilance for Ralph, by the way. My
This,
new
of
best
course, is a small cemetery, which means there's also a church attached to it. This is the local church, dead at this time of night, and the crickets and sounds of the evening meet your ears as you pull up to this little cemetery that sits atop a hill that actually overlooks this town of Southridge, California. The only lights in town are the street lights and the few house lights just down the way.
And Tony's flashlight.
You click it on and you're kind of panning it around. There are some lights on kind of the front stoop of the church that light the front area. But all in all, the road basically dead ends here. Now, you would know... let's see. You would know that there are a set of train tracks just past the cemetery that are now abandoned. There are a slew of local ghost stories that go along with the train tracks in the town of Southridge. And there's a very clear sign that exits out the back of the cemetery towards the train tracks that says no trespassing.
Okay. Is there... This is going to sound weird, and I don't know if anybody's heard of this before, but is there a dead house?
What's a dead house?
It may not be something that would be in California. It's usually in colder climes where when the ground is too frozen and
Oh,
to
I see what you're
dig
saying.
into. Yeah.
That
Like-
it's where they keep the bodies until they can dig into the ground.
Yes.
There is not. California would not get that cold where they would be
I didn't
unable, where the
think
ground
so.
would freeze over. Yeah,
Not in Southridge.
not in
anyway.
Southridge, anyways. Yeah,
Okay. I wasn't. California is a big state.
yeah.
and-
We would be south of LA.
Okay. Okay, so that, which is my immediate thought, is like, okay, is there a dead house or is it just like a groundskeeper shed?
There is a groundskeeper shed. Whoever the groundskeeper is does not live on site. There's just a storage shed. This cemetery has a path that leads north to south and one east to west, and then everything else is just in gridded rows. The oldest ones being at the farthest end towards the train tracks.
Okay. As I don't know if I'd have to roll like a brains roll or something for this, just looking around to see if there's any sign of where Heather may have been or of anybody being here recently.
This would be a brains check. Anybody can roll this if you guys just want to kind of search the area and see if there's something that you can find.
There has to be a number higher than 6, I
Okay.
believe.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
Oh, apparently not.
5, 15.
Dang.
Nicely
15.
done.
I was gonna pull on my intuitive too.
A 4
but-
credit. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't just find her tracks. You find her scrunchie.
No.
Not the red scrunchie.
You find the red scrunchie. It's
Creepy.
Yep.
Like a nightmare.
It's near the back end of the cemetery, near kind of where the exit might be. You can see her tracks very clearly lead to this point, and the scrunchie gets dropped. There is a rustling of the dirt in this area. Grass has been crunched and stepped on, especially the higher pieces. You can tell there were more than one set of footprints here. And the footprints clearly disappear, and as you shine your nice mag flashlight across the horizon where the gate that exits the cemetery and goes towards the train tracks are, you can see that there are now dragging marks where something has been drug away and down the train tracks east.
Are there any animal footprints, or does it just seem to be human footprints?
Her footprints are the only human footprints that you see, except for near the front. You can tell. Here's what you can tell. Near the front, you can tell that all the adults were hiding. Because their footprints were on the other side of the gate where they were watching, and they lost track of her as she hit the back of the train tracks.
I was just gonna ask
Yep.
if this was outside a line of sight of where they
Yep.
would have
The
been.
hill dips down, and you could tell that they did not plan on that, and she just went too far, and the moment she was out of eyesight, she disappeared. But there
How
are
did the
no...
cops not find this scrunchie? It's right there. It's red. It's super obvious.
There's only 5 of them. I learned that tonight.
Yeah, but there's
only
one in
5
that
of us.
group with us, right? And he was right there.
Which is probably why I get arrested by the same one over and over again.
Yeah, I don't know how the adults didn't see this.
Adults are stupid.
Has the gate been tampered with at all?
It stands off a hinge. It's just old. The only
So it's half
thing,
busted.
it's just half busted. And whatever it was did take her. It looks to potentially have drug her through this and down the train tracks east.
And there's no sign of what it could have been. Like, there are no other footprints. There's no...
Out of 15, there are other kinds of tracks, but it's not anything you've ever seen before.
Okay.
It's not shoes, it's not an animal print, it's not a hoof or a paw. It is some kind of oddly shaped imprint, and it's very light, as if this thing is light on its feet.
A squirrel.
Well, X, if you wanted proof of aliens,
Do you think we might have found it?
I don't know, but...
I mean, I'm not sure I was looking for that when I got out of bed today, but
I mean,
I'm sure it's something else.
of all the theories I had as to what was going on, I did not lean towards aliens.
I'm kind of disappointed in you. I feel like that would have been a good first conspiracy theory choice.
Remember when you thought that the lunch lady was serving up all the kids? Like that was why the food was so bad?
Only at the roller rink, and we don't talk about that, Eugene.
You've got the flashlight, Tony, right? You kind of pan it up in the tracks, like eastward, and your light stops on something. 2 figures. 2 white members-only jackets. They stand hand in hand. They look east with their backs to you down the train tracks, and as you pan up and you see their backs, something dives out of the woods, takes both of them off the train tracks. They don't even make a sound. And the light on your flashlight flickers, and when it comes back on, they are gone.
I'm running into the woods after them because I'm.
Yeah, Tony's right there with her.
Oh my god,
with
you guys start running?
Yeah.
Run.
Yup.
Yeah, you guys are like, you guys start running down the tracks. You can see where their foot,
I'm sorry.
the footprints definitely were. Wow. And whatever it was kind of pulled them off and into the woods. You guys begin following, running through the woods. You have a single light. As it pans, you run, and you come to a resounding halt. When you see a couple things. An old rail car has been kind of set off the tracks. It is rusted and decayed, barely in use. Around you, as your feet, if you kind of look around, there seem to be scraps of clothing and things of that nature. There is a creature. It is holding down one of the girls. The other one stands like petrified, as if frozen next to a tree. It has a giant finger and goes to begin what looks to be potentially even operating on this girl. It's not like ripping her apart and like eating her. It looks like it's going to dissect her chest. Tony, you would know that. Probably Alex too, from dissecting things in class.
Well,
I
and
didn't run along.
Mom.
When they ran after the disappearance, I was like, nope. I turned around and I walked back to my bicycle to call the cops.
Great. You'll have to ride back into town to hit a payphone. You know the
Nope,
nearest.
I have a satellite phone.
Yes.
One
Yes.
of those newfangled, super portable phones.
Big ones. Takes up your whole backpack. Who else? Did anybody else not run?
One of those bag phones that you have to.
I have to crank the
Crank it.
battery thing.
Okay, if everybody else ran, you would all see this in this single beam of light that Tony has shining on this creature. It does not turn its back to you. It is this shadowy black, kind of gangly creature. Its skin has a sheen to it, like that of a wet dolphin. And it holds the girl by her neck. She doesn't move on the ground as you watch. He slices her chest open.
get away from her.
You
I'm gonna tackle him. I'm
all right,
warmed up
great.
from earlier.
Okay, roll away.
Fight or brawn?
This is gonna be a fight,
Okay.
and you're gotta go up against the aliens. So good luck there.
Come on, roll a
This
four.
is how teams die. Okay, well, you gain a token. So because you failed, you run and go to tackle this thing. You all watch as X makes the tackle dive, and this creature almost like shimmers its body out of the way. X goes nose diving into leaves and basically ground floor of the forest, and X kind of smashes into the train car. X can't see it, but the rest of you can. When it hits that, it's like a holograph. And there's a moment where you're pretty sure you see some kind of spaceship that's being hidden by the facade of an old train car. And this creature continues. It reaches into her chest and plucks her lungs free.
I was going to say Tony's going to try and pull her away, but I guess that's not an option.
You can definitely walk in and try to pull it away.
Like while X was going to tackle
yep,
it.
that's a brawn. So that is a
God.
brawn.
Come on, Steph.
I'm gonna let you roll it.
You've been rolling great. I've been rolling like trash.
Okay, Steph rolled 2 as well.
Oh,
This is
I
how
only have a
teens
D4.
die. You go to pull the body. You go to move her. She is stiff as a board. She's not cold. She's still alive, partially, except for the splayed open chest. It looks at you with a barren face. There's no eyes, no mouth that you see. It does seem to have some kind of what you would probably consider gills. Its breathing apparatus is around its neck, and it flutters. Now that you're this close, Tony, you can hear it. It has a raspy, as if it's having issues breathing. And as you try to rip the body clean of him, because you failed, you pull the body, and with it out comes her lung. and he holds one of her very clean, fresh lungs in his hand as he simply, like his belly is just made of jelly, places her lung inside his body. And you listen as the creature takes a fresh breath.
Am I close enough to swing the mag at its gills?
Yes. Yeah, whistles the X-Files tune. You definitely can swing. Yeah, you can totally swing it. So that's going to be a fight. Anybody else want to take action? Eugene, you call the cops. You dial 911. Yes. There's an operator. Operator!
Hey, this is Eugene. I'm at the cemetery, and I saw 2 kids get snatched by something. I figured that might be something you want to look into.
Where are you located, sir? Stay calm. Are you hurt?
I'm not hurt.
Okay.
It's a cemetery.
This is not a place. You're at the cemetery and you're worried. There are dead bodies there, sir.
I know. But no, we saw 2 live kids get snatched by something. I couldn't see what it was. I figured I should call the cops. Also, we found this scrunchy thing from that girl Heather that disappeared the other night.
Okay, sir. Listen, you just stay calm. Stay calm, sir. We're gonna call the police and have them right out to you, okay?
All right.
Okay, you stay calm. And the line goes like, click. Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah, go ahead, X.
So, if you want me to use this token, I still have the plastic horn. I want to call for Ralph.
Okay. I love this.
So if I have to use that token and roll charm or something, I will do
it. Okay. You don't have to. You can. I'm gonna give you a free action using your token, and you let out this one toot toot from this toy horn, hoping that Ralph will hear your cries. He won't hear it right away, but Ralph is coming if he can. What about Ricky and Alex?
Ricky has. Who had? Did I get the box back?
Yeah. I had it at one point.
Yeah, but I think it probably went back into your hands.
Okay, so he's got the box, and he walks up. And it's still doing the music.
It is not playing the music. No, it is not. It's just an amplifier. So there's no music currently playing.
I gotcha. I'm gonna walk over with the box and throw the box kind of to the monster's side, so that it kind of will. If it goes for it, it's gonna have to kind of look away.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You clatter it at its feet. I'll give you that easy. It does, in fact, turn to look.
And then I hit it with my nunchucks.
Yes. Go ahead and roll a fight. We were gonna get another hit too.
I got an 8 on the winging it in the neck with the mag.
That's pretty good. As it turns to look at this thing, it gets a solid thud to the back of the head. Oh no, I lost Craig.
Oh no, we lost Craig.
We lost Craig. Craig Cam.
Craig Cam. I'm gonna switch this all around again.
No, sorry.
Oh, no worries.
What the hell's going on?
No, you're good. We can see you again.
Yeah, you're back.
I know. I'm on the wrong.
Oh, you're on the wrong cam. Switch us around.
Hello. Let me.
That's not right.
Jeez, what the?
No worries. Take your time.
May have to go.
There we go.
There
That's
we
better.
go. Hey, there's your face.
What I was trying to do was to show you that.
Oh. Okay.
Natural 12.
All right. Roll again, because you did explode that die. Very nicely done.
Okay, well that's a 4.
Okay, so you just added to it. That's great. The thud with the mag flashlight on the back of the head causes it to like outwards. But when it scrouches, it actually begins to let out the sound of a synthesizer tune. One that you know all too well. And the nunchucks in the dark come around and thwack this thing across the face. It goes flying. It actually comes off its feet and thuds against a tree. Next to all of you. Ricky has landed a very strong blow. When this happens, I won't say it doesn't die or anything, but it has a moment where it can't get back up. It has to recuperate from the amount of damage you've all done to its head. The other girl, the other sister who has not had its lungs splayed open or its chest splayed open, she becomes unfrozen and she kind of like thuds to the ground. And she's kind of panting and breathing, and she scutters over to her sister.
Run.
She goes, my sister! She kind of cries.
I know. I'm sorry. We tried, but we gotta go.
I'm Sorry. Run.
And she kind of tears out running. Eugene, you hear the sound of heavy footsteps coming up from behind you where you stand in the cemetery calling the police.
Okay, I look.
It's a very teary-eyed, panicked, little dirty twin. Homeschool twin.
Oh, well, there's one of them. Well, that's half the job done.
She goes, "It took my sister," and she just like cries into your arms, Eugene.
Oh, great.
Yeah, she needs a hug and she needs one bad. The rest of you,
If you guys want to run, do it.
you see flashing lights on the horizon, red and blue, as the cops begin to pull up.
Ah, that's the cops. I called them. Maybe you know.
I'm not sure that was a good
you
idea,
could
but
talk to them.
Where's
She
the
goes,
monster?
good question. It's kind of laying on its side, trying to like get up. It grabs like a tree with its claws as it rakes down it, and it begins to pull itself upward. You
Alright.
hear a familiar chaos, that of Ralph. Get away from those kids! As he almost becomes visible. Out of the woods, you hear his like crush, 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 and he runs and goes to tackle the creature.
That's my friend!
Let's see. He's going to roll for that because, yeah. Very nicely done there, Ralph. Ralph with a 9 tackles the creature. They begin kind of tussling about. He goes, "Get out of here, kids!"
I'm gonna use his special power to identify the monster. He's gonna learn everything he can about the
Everything he can about the monster. Okay. Instantly, he knows everything that he needs to know. Maybe he just needed to look into the black, eerie face of this alien. He immediately knows this is definitely him. He knows that he's been hiding his UFO behind the guise of an old train car. He knows that this creature crash landed here many years ago and has been feeding and living on the lungs of the other creatures because it cannot breathe oxygen. And unfortunately, the lungs wear out in a body in which it does not belong, and it needs fresher and younger lungs each and every time. And you hear Ralph yell out, "You stay away from these kids! Go back to the hellhole where you came!" And they tussle, and he tosses this creature on board the ship, and he turns around as he kind of breaks the illusion. And he punches, the creature one more time. The kind of train car illusion goes away. You see the bodies of the children over the years, each of them laid out underneath the base of the ship, kind of just laid out on the ground. Many of them heavily decaying, some of them relatively fresh. There, of course, is the body of Heather, missing lungs, both of them. And he turns to all of you and he says, "Get out of here!" And he slams the door behind him, closing off the, UFO.
Is he in the UFO?
Well,
He went in the UFO. You only hear rustling from the other side of this door.
Well, that seems bad.
I think you literally just watch X drop to their knees. And, crying. Sobbing. Because they thought that Ralph and them had a connection.
Connection.
They wanted to be cool like Ralph
Who
when
has
they grew
the
up.
box? Ricky. Ricky, you have the box. Ricky,
Yes.
this beeping
Ricky
box.
threw the box.
Oh yeah, where did you throw? Oh, you threw it off to the side.
It's but it's right there next to me because I threw it just to distract
Just
it,
a
and
distraction.
then I ran up on top of it.
Yeah, it's right there, and you see it. The light is still beeping, but it's beeping faster now, as if the proximity to the spaceship has made some kind of difference, and it's like beep, 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 beep.
Well, every movie Ricky has ever seen makes that sound like it's gonna blow up.
Might.
Ralph said run. Ralph said get out of here.
He did. So does Ricky run?
Ricky grabs the box, but he's gonna get the heck away from that spaceship.
You pick the box up. The farther away you get, the less it beeps.
Okay.
Just like the frequency in between beeps gets longer, and you come up on Eugene, the crying girl, who's being held by 2 police officers, who's currently interrogating Eugene. And he's like, "Son, tell us what you're doing out here this late."
Well, I saw this girl get snatched, her and her sister. And, this one, is really sad about her sister, so I think something happened. I'll leave it to you.
They pull
And
guns, of course, from their hip.
I'll hand the girl over to the cops. I'm like, there we go. That's better.
He goes, son, we really appreciate you handling the situation. Could you escort her to our car?
Sure.
And they pull guns, and begin bebopping around through the cemetery looking and heading off towards the train. Okay, they pick up pace when you tell them which direction it is.
I think Axe will walk through the gate with their hands up. It's not a threat. There is no threat anymore. I'll tell you everything we saw.
The police officers, they are pointing weapons. They say, well,
I think we're all white.
And
that's
Just blowing kids away.
This is a new movie now. One of the police officers does stop. The other one goes running off in the distance. He says, "Tell me what you find."
You don't want to do that.
And
Tony is still cradling the other twin, just kind of frozen there.
Alex, what are you up to?
Man, I don't know. I'm 8.
I'm 8.
They're doing all this. I'm imagining that while they're fighting this thing and knocking it over with nunchucks and screaming to run, and then a homeless man comes out flailing gibberish. He's gonna be like, "Is that a real hologram?" and, try to touch the train.
Okay,
and,
perfect.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, you go over and you kind of put your hand through the hologram. It definitely is. And when you break it, break the hologram, you actually touch the ship and a panel opens up. Boom. There seems to be some damage that has been done here. You could roll a brain check to see if you can figure it out.
Come on, Sib.
Oh man.
This is where you pour the gasoline.
Dude, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, this is definitely some kind of alien stuff. You're pretty sure that there was some damage to what we would consider the circuitry of this, but you were completely unsure as to how to fix it.
I don't know anything about these. Cats have 32 muscles in their ear that can move independently, but I don't know what this ship does. They rush into the ship and it starts closing up. Oh dear.
Oh dear. Do you go into the ship?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay.
The panel opens.
Yeah, you walk up the ramp and the panel slides open. This creature and the homeless guy are 100% in full on combat. Ralph is heavily injured. He's bleeding all over the place. The creature can't really communicate, but is also bleeding this kind of black, gooey essence. And as you come through the door, you see him say, "Alex, don't! Come on! Must get the box!"
What?
He goes, "The box!" He yells out as the creature decks him another one.
Let's see if old Ralph can get a reprieve here. I'm going to activate the power to hypnotize with a gaze.
Oh.
So as he's getting stabbed and bludgeoned and beaten, Ralph will try to kind of lock himself and this thing in place on the ship so they stop killing each other.
There's a moment where
Bring back the box!
he grabs the creature by the neck. And looks him dead in the eyes that don't exist. And there's a paused moment between the two of them. Alex, you're pretty sure you see some kind of energy that flows from one of their foreheads to the other. And they're clearly in a hypnotic state. No longer hurting one another, but trapped in this moment in time. It makes these odd, sounds from its gill-like breathing apparatus, as it is probably communicating with Ralph. And Ralph says, "You're gonna leave this place."
Ricky,
Please.
bring back the box!
Alex will kind of be standing there. He's been clopping around. He still has the skate strapped on. And he says, "The human body has 5.5 liters of blood. I will be right back." He comes out of the ship. Beep, box, beep, where's the box? Box.
Ricky, where are you at?
Clock, clock.
I was getting out of there.
Yeah,
so
you start
they-
running and you hear your friends
Are
behind
they
you. It's like,
yelling for
don't
me?
take the box! Don't take the box!
Ricky skids to a halt, goes, crap! And turns around and runs back.
You
Running past the deputy.
just in time. You spin around. You hear the deputy come around the corner. And goes, "Hey kids, stop what you're doing! Drop the box!"
And I run and I get shot. No, I run back.
He runs after. Goes, "Hey kid!" He kind of runs after you. As the police officer rounds the bend behind Ricky, he sees the sight before him. UFO, splayed out dead bodies of children.
Oh,
Tony
good.
with blood.
Tony
I
with blood.
was terrified that the
So-
hologram would still be up and he'd just see a vivisected child and a bunch of teenagers.
So it is technically the hologram is still partially up. I mean, it's a protective mechanism, but he is seeing this whole scene like he's like in shock. The gun drops to the ground. Ricky,
Al?
you run over with the box. Yeah, the police officer is like frozen. What do you
He's just
do?
imagining all the paperwork he's gonna have.
Yeah.
Years of missing teens.
He's jaw dropped. Ricky, you run over with the box. What action do you take?
I've got the box!
Oh, you're
What
holding
what
it.
it's needed for. I just
yeah,
want somebody
I'll
else
take
to
it
come
and I'll go, thanks.
It's now like
Clock, clock, clock.
it's now like beeping more. Beep 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 beep. And you walk on board, Alex, and you drop the box at Ralph and this creature's feet, who are still. Ralph is beginning to bleed from his eyes and his nose and his ears, where he's keeping this telepathic connection, this like hypnotic connection with the creature. His eyes kind of dart to you, and he says, "Have your box, but go home." And the creature, the kind of break happens. Ralph collapses, probably in some kind of passed out state. The creature.
So I'll throw the box, like underhanded, like soft toss it at this creature thing and try with my little willowy 8-year-old frame to pull this grown ass fucking man off the spaceship.
Tony was following you, so Tony will help.
I'll tell you, actually, once you throw the box, Alex, the creature lets go of Ralph and catches it midair.
Good.
It as if it is a precious item, and it as if it doesn't want to get rid of it. And then it looks at you. It now has the box. It's heavily injured. It's bleeding from its side. It's taken some kind of metal chunk to its ribs, and it walks over to the console, and it slots this box back in place. The beeping stops. What do you do?
Drag Ralph, I swear to God, if
I am
Ralph doesn't
dragging
get
Ralph off the ship.
Okay, you guys are gonna try to drag Ralph off the ship. You come on board. You see this creature slot this box in place. It stops beeping. Your brother Alex stands there. This ship is high tech. Everything lights up. Its whole thing looks like a computer console.
Do any of you yell anything to anyone?
Help!
Okay. Axe is gonna come running and probably will attempt. I mean, I have a D6 plus 1 for brawn.
Yeah,
like,
I've got a D4 plus
Okay.
1.
Well,
You guys
So-
can start
Got a
dragging the
D12,
body,
but I'm not there.
but you're not there.
You're not.
The sound of the kind of rustle and the yelling and all of those kinds of things alert the other police officer, Eugene. He says, "Stay here," as he goes looking after, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, when I put the girl in the car, I'll just walk after him.
Okay. Yeah, you
Like a
begin
police
walking after him. Yeah. The girl's now locked in the back of a police car because they locked from the inside, but she just cries in the back seat, wailing. You round the corner, Eugene, to see Tony and X step on board the ship and begin pulling a very injured and bloodied body of Ralph off board. Alex?
The fuck is that? And that? What the fuck is all of this?
Alex, do you follow?
that's an alien, Eugene.
God, there's a big part of me. It's like, this ship's pretty cool. This seems like somewhere I'd want to be.
Alex, we have to go.
Hey, you're busy.
Whoa, you're getting sassy, Sib.
Oh no, that's me, JB.
That's
Like,
JB.
Hi, JB. I'm just a sassy
I'm like-
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
JB, you're busy.
Man, I don't know. Like, as they're pulling Ralph off, I've still got probably 15 seconds before whatever happens happens. And I know
Don't break my heart.
mathematics is the one thing that translates in our sapient brains across the universe. And I'm going to look for anything that looks like it's mathematic in nature, like on this ship.
There's
Any way
yeah.
that this thing communicates, or anything that I could use to communicate to this thing, anything like that.
Okay, that is a brains check for sure. Make that quick brains check, because there is a way, possibly.
Oh god. 9.
It seems to communicate through two things. Music, which is also music-based. And math-based, I'm sorry. And music is music-based. Music is math-based. Thanks, Greg. And it also seems to communicate possibly through, like, Morse code. There is some kind of, like, number-based, like, code that's dropping down an LED screen.
Yeah, so I heard all these people humming this thing, and I've heard the song probably 3 or 4 times. And I also heard it trying to communicate with the gills when Ralph was doing the mental connection. So I'm going to try to make a synthesizer noise myself.
Oh, God.
Using what I know of that song to make that noise back to it.
Okay.
Almost like an invitation.
Oh. Okay,
We
an
are
invitation.
now in Close Encounters of the Fourth
This
Kind.
is definitely a charm. What are you trying to actually communicate? Like, you want it to go away, you want it to stay, you want to say hi?
Yo, bro, like, this is a nice ship, you know?
Okay.
What about a stowaway? How you feeling about a stowaway here?
Okay.
It eats lungs.
It needs
fine with
lungs
that.
while it's here. It needs
If I
lungs while
don't
it's
need
here.
them,
Fine, yeah, that's true.
you know what I mean? I
Okay.
get a +1 to this. 8.
Okay, that's not so bad. You try to, like, figure it out. You even, like, try to Morse code. It takes, a moment, takes this in. It presses a few buttons on a console and a new song begins to play. A song that is accompanied by the whirling of the engines of this ship as it begins to take off, with you on board, Alex.
Are you two gonna shoot this monster or what?
The other cop, like, rounds the corner to see this happen. The ship takes off into
I
the
stand
sky.
between the cop, like, as it's starting to lift off to make sure they don't shoot the alien. I'm like, no!
They're
Are all
far
three
too
of
away.
us still on board?
Nope.
Good.
X and Tony have taken the body off board. That was your request. Alex
my
is
God.
on board. The door closes behind you, and the ship begins to take off. Alex, you hear it say, "I am sorry. Survival of the fittest."
That's always a great philosophy.
And the ship takes off with you, with it on board. And maybe it's because you tried to communicate with it. Maybe it's because you figured out how to communicate with it. But the creature says, you think the creature says back to you, "Are you ready for an adventure?" And it off and into the sky, leaving Ricky, X, Eugene, and Tony standing over the splayed out body of one of the twins, the missing bodies of all the teens of this town, 2 police officers that are currently jaw-dropped, and where there was a holograph of a train, you realize it was covering an actual train car that stood there. The scene looks like that out of a bad murder movie. The cops radio in saying that they found something. The teens are in custody, and they will be questioning you, and that there is an injured man here as well. And that's where we're going to close out, because we're already over time, and I feel bad about it.
Did
But-
you know that almonds are in the peach family?
Alex now is going off into a new adventure. Ricky,
Spacesuit will travel, bitches.
Is he gonna make his appearance in Teens in Space?
Please.
maybe.
Just shoot JB at anybody. I'll do whatever.
But Ricky, X, and Eugene and Tony have, I guess you could say, saved the day, solved the mystery of the town, but only at the loss of another teen or kid. on a bike. 2 of them on a bike. All right, that was fun. This was fun. Okay, cool.
That was a strange little adventure.
It was a strange adventure.
Yes.
So,
JP, I was gonna say I enjoyed having you as a sibling, but now I'm not so sure about that.
All right, let's get these outros done so I get a little break before we pop back over to Owl of Lycia. Let's start actually with JB, our new space traveling kid.
Hi, I'm JB, also at Drop the Die on Twitter. You can come over there where you find me do all kinds of tabletop stuff, and I'm going to try to start streaming more and maybe stream games myself.
Nice.
Because I'm not getting enough gaming in my life. But yeah, no, this game was very fun. I want to see what the finished rule set looks like before I make any final judgments, because a lot of people know me from my tabletop RPG reviews. I want to see what the final rule set looks like, but cursory glance, it has a lot of good bones in it, and I think that good DMs like Dot here can run some pretty incredible games.
Yeah,
So
I'm
check it
excited. This one, so for everybody at home, this is actually going to become, Kids on Bikes will become a regular play here on this Sunday Fundays, moving into 2020. So there will always be a new group of kids. There will always be new crazy adventures. I'm in love with Kids on Bikes, and there's a lot of things that, you know, when you have 3 hours that you just don't quite get to dive into. I'm going to be getting, hopefully moving forward, a actual proper PDF copy of this from Renegade to be able to pass off so that you can have your flaws and those kinds of things as well. But I love this. This is the deluxe edition. I'm hoping to also be passing out some free copies of this with a couple giveaways moving into Sunday Fundays. The deluxe edition has a fair share of prompts in it, which I dig. And actually this one came from a prompt flat out of the book. So, love it. Love it. Nice. Thanks, JB, for being here. You somehow ended up back in space on my channel.
Yeah.
It's like it's bound to happen.
If only Alex were Native American, Kenobi's long lost
sibling, or who knows, maybe his like ancestor. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. Steph, tell us who you are, where we can find you online.
Hello, I'm Steph. You can find me on Twitter at Steph_Bard. I have been doing quite a bit of stuff, but most recently, my friend Meg and I are starting our own bi-weekly podcast called Film Fatales. And we haven't quite launched yet, but we've got some fun stuff coming up before the first episode soon. And if you want to check that out, it's Fatales Cast on the Twitterverse. And yeah, otherwise, I'm all over the place on the dot lot screaming feels, and JB is used to seeing me in the comments, so it's been a blast getting to play with not only JB but everybody else here, because we've all conversed.
This was a
so
killer
many
crew
times.
today. When all of you signed up, I was like, I'm gonna have to step my game up. Like,
this was so much
did.
fun. It was amazing.
Thanks. Awesome. I'm glad you had a good time. Theater nerd.
Hi, my name is Theater Nerd. I'm processing the feels of losing my little sibling. Yeah, I'm starting up another Call of Cthulhu game. Our session 0 is on Monday.
Ooh.
Like, I guess that's tomorrow. And it'll be every other Monday after that. So I'll be sure to shout about it in the Dotbot soon.
Please do.
That's the only stream thing I have going on. We had to set aside the podcast, which I need to rethink about and launch.
Boy,
relaunch.
podcasts are so much work.
Yes, that's what I also discovered. Yeah, you can find me all the social medias at the username below. I had a lot of fun. Like the crew here knows, I binge watched Kolak 1991, which is a Kids on Bikes actual play.
Mm-hmm.
That at the time I started was like 33 episodes total and into their second season in about 2 weeks. So I really like Kids on Bikes.
Made her hair stand on end.
Yeah, it actually stayed. But I'm pretty sure that I was going to mention that. I knew I was forgetting something. It literally is only because Elmer's glue is in it that it's still standing. And it probably would look even better if I hadn't played with it the entire time.
Right.
Anyway, that's about me. I spent way too much time on the internet.
Nah, that's subjective.
My parents would argue I spend way too much time on the internet.
Oh, good thing
do
you're
they
playing
know?
a teen today.
Yeah.
Awesome. PH.
Hi everybody, I'm Paladin Hulk. I'm a Twitch moderator for Random Tuesday and Little Red Dot. And you can find me on Twitch at several places. I play a pirate on Uncanny Adventures, where I try to make friends with all the evil pirates, and it's going surprisingly well. Except that my teammates have decided to make an invisible ghost happen, and I don't know that it's a fake ghost, so it's all very complicated. And on Fridays, I play a superhero, which is going weird but well.
Oh.
That's a fun masks game I play on Welcome Party RPG, and I really like where this is all going. It's closing out fairly soon. Exciting. And I've got coming up on Tales from the Grim, I'm going to be playing Blades in the Dark, but it's actually Watchmen.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Strange.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a huge cast. We're gonna go to Cuba, which is strange because I've pictured my guy as like a neighborhood vigilante, and now he's getting sent to Cuba. So I'm like,
Oh.
it's got a stellar cast, and I'm excited.
That's awesome. Very
That's
cool.
me.
I'll have to check that out. Definitely a lot of love over to our friends on Grimm's channel. And Craig, I know you busy doing stuff. You're always busy. Writing something, publishing something.
I'm Craig Campbell. I'm the owner and lead designer at Nerdburger Games. I'm at Nerdburger Craig on Twitter. You can go to nerdburgergames.com to see the stuff that I make. I believe one of the games that I designed will be making it into a Sunday Funday here in the
That's
not too
right,
distant
in
future.
January.
So you'll be able to check out Capers there. And I'm wrapping up the whole little Capers game line with the next Kickstarter. Will be kind of the end of that. That'll be coming up early next year, and then I'm designing another game too, which I might talk to Dot about maybe having an alpha level playtest on her channel sometime if she wants to see the very bare bones of like what a game looks like when it begins and will never look like again.
Yeah, right.
Changed and made better and different.
Yeah, you know I love your games. We play them,
So
all
we have
of
to
them
try
over
something
here.
out.
So
maybe I've mentioned the idea and Dot was not averse to it, so we'll see if maybe we can find some time to
figure
show
that
people
one
the
out.
beginning.
Yeah, Lord, I just gotta get through the holidays. Once I make it to 2020, then I can think 2020, right?
No, it's gonna. I mean, this is gonna take. I'm gonna be working on this game all year.
Oh, perfect. Then
All
we'll
next year.
then we'll definitely find a place
Months
to
and
slot you
months.
in. Because you know I'm all about those locals. So Craig is from the area, and two, I just love Craig's games. I'm like I was on a podcast the other day talking about Craig. I was like, I remember the first time I laid eyes on Capers, and I was like, I have to play this. We're going to play this. So, and here we are doing it again. So thank you all so much. I'm Little Red Dot. If you popped into the channel today, I greatly appreciate it. Die Laughing, also on my shelf behind me. Another great game by Craig. We will be playing next up in December. I dropped a link. We will be playing Capers. We'll be playing Capers in January. Capers Pirates, actually. I'm doing a little bit of a test to see if it's going to be ideal for something else I've got planned later in 2020 that I'm cooking up for all of you. But there are a few places that you can catch me this upcoming week and throughout the holidays. For the next few Mondays, I'm finishing up a Deadlands campaign over on Tales from the Grim. If you want to see me in a nun's hood, tune in on Monday nights at 9 o'clock because I am rocking it. Then we've got Sister Ruth is definitely there. Of course, you can catch me every Saturday over on Roll For It, my home away from home. Next week is, of course, our big Legendary Games for them where they're doing, it's like their big charity stream, and I'll be in the UK on site for that, and I'll be bringing back a much-loved character. It's not been announced yet, so stay tuned on the Roll For It channel to see which character I'll be bringing back and taking to the UK. And then, of course, you can always catch me on Thursdays over on Unmade Gaming's channel as we play through a dark fantasy of Symbaroum. So these are the things that are cooking up right now. I'll be making some announcements, like I said earlier, for upcoming casts for the 2020 show of Teens in Space. You know what? I can go ahead and announce 3 people. I believe that's going to be in that one that are official. You'll be able to catch me playing with... Let me make sure I got this right because I've done so much casting this week. I will be playing with Victoria Rogers, who you may all know as Mimi. She, of course, works for Renegade Games, so she's going to be coming over and playing in that game with us. Yes, that's a very, very exciting one for me. In addition to that, because she's not ever had a chance to play on the Dot Lot, so this will be a great way to just invite some new people in, which I'm pretty excited about. In addition, we will be having, come on, load for me. Nomadic will be coming and joining us for that, which is pretty exciting.
No.
If you know Marcus, who is best kind of worst online, Marcus is going to be
Drunk lady.
joining us. And Stubby Stan. Stan is also going to be joining us. So those are 4 of 5. I'm pending on our last player. So that is going to be a killer Teens in Space game with just an incredible cast. So just hold tight for more info on that.
Spend the entire session laughing.
Oh, I've no doubt. It's gonna be teen chaos. But that is what I'm hoping for. These are the things that I do. So
Then Marcus was a good choice.
yes.
Good luck.
For all of you at home, I love playing with Marcus. I remember when I played with him at Gen Con, I was like, sir, it is hard to find somebody that has the kind of energy that I have. If you can even possibly combat my kind of energy, let's do it. So yes, I'm very excited. And then I'll be making some more announcements. Like I said, we'll be doing an all-female show with most of the cast actually witch girls in our Vikings game. We've got one new face in that one as well. So our witch girls are turning into Vikings in February.
The same thing.
Yeah, right? Which
gonna
is
be
really
awesome.
super cool. So lots of things coming to the dot light. But everything here on the channel is made possible by the kindness of all of you, whether you follow and you show up to watch, whether you subscribe to the channel, or whether you support the Patreon. So please find a way to continue making this a community that you can be a part of and everyone else can be a part of. Next month, if you want to sign up, I think we're doing for the Snow Queen, and which is basically for the Queen, but we'll be having a fair share of Snow Queen art to pull from instead. And then we'll be doing Spirit of the Season, which is an Evil Hat product, which I'm obsessed with. There's like this evil villain named Dr. Scrooge, and he hides behind all these legal technicalities where he picks pockets of impoverished people, and there's like Jackass Frost and the Baroness of Blackheart and like all these great like holiday parodies that I'm very excited. So we'll have a little holiday game next month after we get past American Thanksgiving. So thank you all
the
again.
things about the Fate game that I will be in.
Yes, I'm very excited. It is going to be a Fate game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, you guys can actually catch us back here in exactly 30 minutes. We'll be back at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard for the Owl of Lycia, run by old Marcy, and we'll be playing some Cypher System to close out our Sunday. Thank you all so much. Maybe the moral of today's story is like, I don't know. Just
don't discount the homeless man.
Don't
trust adults.
Ships with
Don't
strangers.
don't trust adults. Don't get on ships with strangers, and never distrust your homeless people. There you go. Lessons
And
for today.
Keep an eye on your lungs.
Keep a nice hard look at your lungs. Until next time, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.